How are you guys? I had to step away for a little bit because I am.
Hey, Dora.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Man, you know, um, I don't know. I'm okay. It's just really sick.
Yes.
Like the worst I've ever seen. And I happen to have watched it unfold like everyone else has. And like you've been involved since the beginning. I, I don't know what to say. I've never heard of something so, I don't even have a word for it.
Thank
I
you.
can't say petrified. I can't say demented. There's no word for what happened. And I just want to ask something without it sounding. If you're sensitive, please plug your ears. That's all I know what to say. So why wouldn't? Okay, not saying I'm like trying to divulge a plan, but if he was going to do that, supposedly, and Courtney was not involved, whatever, why would they not kill her first?
Facts.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that word. Sorry. Yeah, but why not?
Exactly. And I listen. I am fucking livid.
Oh, I know you are, girl.
Oh man. Oh no. I
I haven't even
am.
read it, and I came in on page 11 of Steph's live. I haven't even read it yet, but I screenshotted the whole thing off Kristen's, and I'm going to read it later, I guess. But just that little part I heard had me crying. I don't know. It's just,
When I tell you, it's sick. It's sick.
oh, you're right, Dylan. She said probably to keep the baby alive. That's probably right. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah,
And I'll
Courtney's
be.
definitely way more involved, for sure.
Hey
100%.
Tanya, how are you, baby? I'm gonna be honest. I think she absolutely is more involved, and she's a
Oh, for
lying
sure.
bitch.
Mm-hmm. And she's trying
Hey
to put it on him,
Gracie,
just like when she said, "Weren't you on the live?"
hey
When
Sarah,
she said, "Brad will take the fall for
Chastity
me."
girl.
He said,
How are
"She
you
said,
feeling?
Brad will take the fall for me for that."
Well, we can read it, Tiffany. If you guys want us to read it in here, I'm happy to do that. But just
Oh
bear
yeah.
with me as we try to go through it because I had to walk away
Same.
before I crashed out. Literally. Before I literally crashed this whole
Like
app.
this lady was on live talking to you, like
Absolutely.
acting like
And
everything was nonchalant, and I'm listening the whole time, like, "Oh, this lady's a crackhead," just thinking, just whatever. But this is insanity.
hey, everybody. When I tell you that if I could have come through this fucking phone, I
Oof,
would have absolutely come through this phone.
believe
And
you.
and I'm going to tell you right now that I hope Wexford County never lets them two fucking sick bastards out of jail because I promise you.
I would have rather the knocked over the head with the seizure story. That would have been not as bad. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, and
Absolutely.
not like either or, but if you have to, I don't know,
Oh, I
man.
had to
That's
walk
just
away. Tracy Lynn, I appreciate you, babe. I had to step out because let me tell you what, as soon as I heard it and it was being read, I literally lost it for over 3 hours. I had to walk out.
oh that long.
Yeah, girl. The first time it was read, I literally had to walk out because I could not even process it. I had to collect myself and literally try to calm myself down.
hmm
I had the documents at 2 o'clock, and it took me 3 hours to read through them because I had to keep
Thank you
stopping.
guys. Oh man. Oh man.
Like my husband's sitting here, like, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I have to know, but I don't want to know, but I need to
Right.
know."
hmm
Right. And everybody wants to know, right? Like everybody initially wants to understand what is going on, because hey, we do this and we do the updates and things like that. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Heather. But getting through those details, oh my god. And Courtney's a lying bitch.
I'm
She's a
gonna mute
lying
because
bitch, let me
I'm gonna
tell
mute real
you.
quick. Sorry.
Oh, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think either one of them told the whole truth.
No, I
No.
absolutely do not think that. Um, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think Courtney is the one that initiated it all and did the first
Oh
poke.
yeah, yeah.
I agree.
Because if you think about it logically, Brad was terrified of her that day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you freaking kidding me? The day that at the house when she told him to get his ass in the house, he turned around and started walking. He was terrified of her.
Exactly.
I want to find where he said that he was poked with scissors by her before and that the charges were dismissed. I want to see if we can find record of that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tabby. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I absolutely believe 100% that she was the one that initiated every bit of this shit, and she's the one that did it. And remember the other day when I was asking about did it happen in the car ride home? You guaranteed that's what the document says. That once they got her while they were driving. So what night did she pick her up at 8 o'clock that night?
Yeah, the third.
That Monday.
For Tide Pods.
Remember, remember when the people came on that own the church now, and the part of the family that lived in the parsonage behind it,
Said they were
said
heard
that
the
on
screaming.
the yes. So we now know that absolutely it was Becca. There's no way she wouldn't have made any noise. But I don't believe for 1 minute that she was awake begging Courtney to save her child. She would have passed out from that pain.
Facts.
You're not some savior gonna save her baby. You're unaliving her. Like
Yeah.
what?
The desperation might kick in, when you're a mom and you're in that mode. I don't know for how
I
long, but
don't know, but good
That's,
God.
Jesus.
no, that will, you will go unconscious.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
And I
I
believe in my
mean,
heart that they kept her alive while they were doing the act.
Why?
right, because they knew that
Oh,
was the only way they could keep the baby,
yeah.
maybe to keep the baby alive.
They
Right.
said it too because they asked Brad, when do you feel, or do you think that she was still alive up until what point? And he said after the baby was out.
Right.
Oh my God.
They had did enough research that they knew they had to keep her alive
In order for
if
the
they were gonna
fetus
have
to.
any chance. Yes.
And
They
I
just
think that
conveniently
during the
had
middle.
dental floss for the umbilical cord.
Right. And I think during the middle of them doing what they did to Becca's stomach, it unalived the baby and they
Yeah.
couldn't revive it.
Yep.
Agree.
Absolutely.
I think
They're
that
not
100%
they're
because
not
they
fucking
knew enough.
doctors. They don't know what they're doing.
They knew that they had to keep her alive in order to get the baby to start with. And I think that during the middle of that, they 100% unalived the baby because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And it wasn't stable enough. And I do not for 1 second believe that Brad did it because Rich turned him in. That's bullshit.
Oh, that's just another damn story.
That's bullshit. Courtney 100% did that shit. And Brad right along with her, doing what she wanted him to do.
So, the new thing that I learned through that whole thing, which we wouldn't have known until it came out, was the text that was sent to Becca the night she went to the hospital and telling her you better not have
Yes,
that baby
Katie.
in the fucking hospital. Like, what? Like, you're threatening that poor child not to have a baby in the hospital?
Because she was going to get ready to perform it.
Right? Like, all the
Facts.
premeditation is right there. Like, it's all in black and white.
Amber herself said it on the first interview that Courtney texted her, "Don't take her to that hospital."
Right? And then you text her and say, don't you dare have that baby in the fucking hospital. And you're texting your sister? Like, that right there puts a nail in your coffin. It was premeditated.
That's what
Absolutely.
Oh, my
I
Lord.
came up to say was about the premeditation
Mm-hmm.
because Courtney made sure that they had dental floss and everything needed to try and deliver that baby. Like every indication is there that it was premeditated.
She had a scalpel, she had a
100%.
towel, she had dental floss, she was prepared.
Yep.
She planned
She had
that
already
shit
set
out.
the story up. She'd already set
She
the
was
story up. If they succeeded with the sister, like, she was setting that shit up.
Did
she
you see
was
the part where it said that bee
absolutely
killed my... Mm.
she was absolutely prepared. Not only prepared, but they had previously looked up the information needed to carry this out. So, like, I can't even imagine that the premeditation part would not be a major
Facts.
component.
And you know what I wish? I wish the state of Michigan had DP with the same elements of this murder. That's what I wish.
I agree, Dora. 100.
You start doing that fucking shit to people, they should be able to have the ability to do it to your ass. That's what I wish.
I want them to suffer. I don't want them to have an easy way
No,
out. I
hell
want
no.
them
I don't
to
want them having to live
suffer.
up in a fucking cell, just chilling, eating 3 meals a day. Hell no. Hell no. For every day of it.
Hi, Dora.
Hey, honey.
Hi, everyone. I thought it was super. I don't know if you guys already said this. I just came in, but I thought it was super sick. What he said that she said, like about that bitch killed my baby or whatever. That
Right.
mentality tells me everything of where she was in her mind.
Exactly.
Yes, we'll read the documents, and I'll just say that you guys got to bear with me during reading that because, listen, I was so mad earlier I had to take a step 3-hour break just to breathe and collect myself because that was a lot. And the fact, agreed, Virgo, the fact that you could say that bitch unalived my baby, no, bitch, you did. You did.
Yeah.
Not her baby.
Yeah, I read it on my live earlier, and like I had to take multiple breaks through it. It's super triggering, so everyone protect their own mental health. The end of
I
it
have
is
it
really rough.
too. I have the documents too if you need a break and need me to read it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I may have you guys to do that. In and out, and I appreciate it so much. It was a lot for me to read and hear, and I just literally I could not fathom. Yes, I imagined that they were going to try to cut the baby, but far worse than this. I would have never. We knew that they were obviously with the torture charges. However, with this type of insanity, I hope, I hope that judge does not have no damn mercy on none of them.
agreed. And
Send it
that's
federal.
that's why I wish the feds would pick it up. They won't though because the state is going to pay for it.
Exactly.
But if I wish they would, so they could get the DP. I want to say
DP.
that.
Absolutely. And they should televise the DP.
Yeah. Eye for an eye.
100%.
I agree, Virgo. And my hope is that Courtney is kept in Gen Pop and seriously get some lock socks to the head and everything you can frickin' imagine, I hope that she experiences it. Because people that are in the penitentiary, when it comes to children and unaliving, mostly the unaliving, but the unaliving of a child, they don't take that stuff lightly, and I hope she gets everything that those people in there have coming for her.
Absolutely, and I'll stand here and say I stand 10 toes on that. I hope she gets the locks to the head every damn day. I hope that they come damn near taking the other leg, and I stand on that because you don't.
Unfortunately, she won't be put in like, we all need to just realize that's not going to happen. But
I hope.
they could still get their licks in medical. But
there,
I think she'll be protected.
Honestly, there's no reason why she shouldn't be in Gen Pop, because usually the people that are in protective custody are the people that their children or family members are a victim to something. But I don't see her being in protective custody. I honestly don't.
The fact
and I
that
hope she's not.
The fact that the bitch had the audacity to try to ask for protection.
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah.
I hope some girls take her to the shower. I really do.
Dora, I have a question. I heard that where they found their body is where it happened, which was federal land. Will it not be tried in federal court then?
I hope so. I hope and pray that judge has no mercy, and I hope that they do pick it up. I really do.
Yeah, there's like two sides to that coin. They could.
Exactly. There's two sides to that coin, because honestly, like federal prison, there's so many opportunities in federal prison for like classes and things you can do in federal prison.
Yeah.
It's before the prison part that is more harsh, but like
Sure.
once the feds pick it up, and if they convict her of something federally, like I've heard, and to my understanding, if you're in federal prison, it's more of a cakewalk than it is in state prison. So
100%.
I'm really torn on that.
Yeah, the
Okay.
DP takes forever, right? So they'd sit for years waiting that, and Fed time is a walk in the park. It's nothing compared to state pen. Like,
I agree, Virgo.
yeah.
Don't believe that it was actually done there. I think that is the part of the story that they are still not telling the truth about, because of the way that her body was still preserved. Like there's no way.
Well, and multiple professional search parties searched that land multiple times. There's no way that they missed it.
No. Nope.
I wouldn't doubt for 1 second, with their criminal history, both of them, their criminal history, if they didn't purposely put her on federal land hoping to get federal time.
Yeah, even if it
for 1 second.
Even if it comes out that it was on federal land, it doesn't mean they'll pick it up.
No. Nope. And I think 100% they're going to pursue those. I hope that she's in the worst part of the jail, and I hope that she don't get a damn bit of sleep.
Well, I think she thought she might could get away with it. I mean, I really think her psychology and maybe in her past,
she sat up in this damn box.
Yeah.
And telling us that she hoped that the baby and her comes home. Bullshit, bitch.
In the document, it says that after Brad confessed, Courtney came into the investigation room where they were going to answer questions, and she said, "I'm ready to go home."
Oh, yeah, she already knew. And she sat right up in these damn boxes trying to tell us that she ran off with some random person. Girl, you think that's why you got so mad when protesters come close to the house?
You're right. She was protecting that space, knowing she could have gotten caught. My heart goes out still to the son. Can you imagine what he might know or have seen at that house?
I agree. And
Evil.
my greatest hope is that boy is put somewhere now after all this. He's put somewhere safe, somewhere where people truly love him. That's my greatest hope out of all of this.
And the generational trauma has been passed down, multiple generations now, and this could break the cycle. I really do hope he gets help too.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, this type of shit, in which we all knew that Courtney was behind it, right? We all knew that from the moment she come on this app, got in our boxes. And do you know, the day before she was caught, she sent me a message telling me to go live, and I said, "You need to take your ass to the police station, bitch, is where you need to go."
Are you kidding me? She
Dead
wanted to go
ass.
live with you?
Yep. She sure did, because she wanted to clear something, and I said, "I'm not clearing a fuck thing for you. You need to take yourself to the police station." She sure did.
She knew she was
Wow.
not ready to be picked up. She knew it.
She knew it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, she knew it.
Hmm.
And just like the day of, she messaged Steph too.
Hmm.
She was reaching out to you for a last hope that you could go live and give her an opportunity to try and say something that would clear her.
Oh, absolutely. She wasn't getting that from me. I straight told her my last message reply back to her was, "Take your ass to the police station, is where you need to go."
Thank you so much, Dora, for covering this and all your time. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to jump down, but I just wanted to thank you so much, Dora.
Thank you, Bedazzled. I really appreciate you, honey.
So at this point, do we think Rich and Kimmy are innocent and had nothing to do with it?
I don't think Kimmy honestly had anything to do with it. I think Courtney played her just as much as saying, "Come get the phone," and blase, blase. So, of course, Kimmy was the last person to have the phone.
I feel that way. Same, Dora. Same.
Because Courtney set that whole thing up. Courtney,
Because
absolutely. I don't think that Rich had anything to do with it. Because let's be honest,
same.
Rich loves his rugs and women too much.
I
Right.
think Rich is a real big piece of shit. I don't think he's that kind of piece of shit.
Right. And
Exactly.
Kimmy and her were raised together, right? At her adopted family's house.
Yeah.
So they were
Hmm.
close. I mean, if you're raised around anybody, whether you hate them or not, you're pretty close. So I don't think Kimmy has anything to do with it either. I think this was a Courtney and Rich jealousy thing, and also Courtney's obsession with the baby. Um, we've all been down her. A lot of us have been down her Facebook, and I know that's the first thing I go to to do my history. But yeah, I don't think Kimmy does either. But I'd hate to say, but I really don't think it takes that many people to do what they did, being that it was so sloppy. And
I think Becca, I think Courtney,
man,
the
hmm
reason why she did it to Becca was because Becca was having Rich's baby. And
right, her
she
exes,
hated
right?
Rich.
Yep, yep, I agree.
100%.
100. Yes, I would. I would bet my paycheck on it. A month's worth. Yeah, that's for sure.
I still think
Yep.
it's wild that they thought they could do a C-section themselves, perform one.
Right. World.
I think that she had the motive that she hated Rich so much, so it was kind of like the same thing Kimmy was telling us. If y'all remember,
Right.
Kimmy was in a box telling us that Courtney had threatened Becca and said, "You're not ever going to have Rich's baby."
Quid
You
pro
remember that?
quo for her in her mind.
In
Yup.
her mind.
Yeah, in her mind, not ours.
And she thought just because she knew it was Rich's baby, she hated him. So she's just going to take that baby out and rename that baby and act like it was hers.
Mm-hmm. She didn't expect it to get this much attention, but yet they were on TikTok with it. Literally, we were on lives with these people.
Absolutely.
And it's insane. And that's what makes me want to.
Well, I don't think that she ever counted on Rich coming to TikTok.
That's a good
I
point.
think that started it, and then she was trying to clear her
Mm-hmm.
name.
Exactly. Because, when he came on here, he flat out said
That
he
he was
thought that,
asleep and he had a solid alibi.
right, and that when he was asked,
There
do
was
you believe
camera
that
footage.
she could have done something, he said yes. Like, so she wasn't betting on all that shit.
And remember, because there was solid camera footage of
Mm-hmm.
Rich being home that night asleep. He never left the house.
Right.
And if he was going to have any part in it, he would have left that night and went over there. He didn't
Right.
have a part in that. They had him on camera at home the entire night. Did not leave. And then you have Courtney saying Rich, 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 Rich. But then when Rich came on here and he told his statement, he was the only one that had a solid alibi. Is he a piece of shit? 100% he's a piece of shit. But I don't think that he would have been a piece of shit enough to harm his own child and his wife or soon to be wife.
He
I don't
doesn't
think he
have
would have.
a history of DV or anything, right?
Nope.
I didn't
No
think so.
history. He has
So,
he's just a pedo and he has that history and he has the history of Smith abuse.
well, it seems
But
like every male in that group has a history of that kind of thing. So,
100%. And I think that Courtney was like, well, I'll be damned if you're going to have Rich's baby because Courtney also dated Rich. She
right.
hated Rich.
Yeah.
So the motive would be to unalive Becca because she is with Rich and she was getting ready to have his baby.
I mean, I know it's a small town, but good God, there's got to be more men than to keep just sharing the same ones in your family. I mean, that's disgusting.
It is. And unfortunately, as someone who has a history of drug abuse, on top of my head that I met during active addiction who could have been in, you know what I mean? Like families just like that, where, people are just trying to do better. And it's just really fucking sad. It is. It is
Yes,
so.
court is at 10:30 in the morning. Yes.
Tomorrow.
Dora,
Yes.
can I ask a question really quick? Because I've been
Yes.
dying to know and I haven't been able to find out. So, does anyone know if Becca got with Rich immediately after Courtney or while she
No.
was with her? Or is it just some time passed and she suddenly met him out of nowhere?
It was
Like,
time
was he
past.
praying?
It was time past and she met him and they got together. They've
And
only
then
been
she
together
found
a
out.
little over 2 years. Yeah.
Okay,
And then
okay.
she
That
found
makes a
out.
lot different. Okay, that makes it a lot different for me. Okay, cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because Rich was with Courtney first. Well, then Becca and Courtney did
Mhm.
not get to know Becca until a couple years ago.
Right.
When she came into her life a little bit after she turned 18.
Oh,
And
that.
then you got when Courtney
Well,
comes
no,
in, so then
remember,
Rich.
nope. Remember, Becca was with him
Well,
and
that's
they
a whole
broke
nother
up for a
ball
little
game right there.
while.
If you think about
That's
it,
what
like,
I was going to say. I thought that I
They
remembered
broke
it
up.
that
Yes,
Becca
they
was
broke
with
up for
him.
a
They
little
broke
while.
up, right. And
And
then
then Courtney
Courtney
and
got with
him,
him.
yep.
And
And
then
then
they
they
got
see,
back
they
that's
got
together.
back
crazy.
together.
If not, because I mean, how
Yes.
many
So wait,
math
Courtney,
heads do you have
Becca
in
and
one
him
town?
broke up prior to
Yes.
that?
Yes. Him
Yes.
and Becca met, they got were together, but then they broke up for a little while, and Courtney and him were
Oh yeah, because she
together.
had an affair on Brad with him.
Oh, so
Yes.
Courtney
Yes.
Right.
took him from, or not from Becca, but she dated him after Becca did it first.
Correct.
Well, it happened.
Okay.
It was Courtney and Rich, and then Becca and Rich, and then Courtney and Rich again, and then Becca and Rich again.
Oh my God.
And then talk
It's,
about Kimmy too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
What
That's
about Kimmy?
that's that's what I
Keeping
thought
it
because
in
I
the family.
remembered she said that she had an affair on Brad because
Hmm.
she just got with Brad in 2020 or 2019.
Hmm.
They've been together
What is
9 years.
Kimmy doing? Is she just a bystanding sister that was happened to be there? And
I don't know. She's had her own issues though. I mean, she's had a baby with a second cousin and
oh my goodness.
dating brothers and boys.
So I don't know much about her boyfriend because what's his name, Matt? I don't know anything about him. I was surprised to hear his name the other day, and I was like, wait a
Well,
minute.
apparently, like his family is really like strict and they're like really, a normal family.
I can't.
And because I haven't heard anything, bad or, saw anything bad. That's blind guy that was in my box the first night. You remember him when
Yeah,
he
she
was
dated
talking to
him
us about
first,
them? Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's
and
blind
then
guy's
Matt is his
brother.
brother. Yep. Hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And
So
his
That
yeah, they broke
grandpa
up now.
his
Yikes.
grandpa, the grandpa and grandma, the grandpa sat in my box, talking through blind guy's phone and said, Courtney is a piece of shit and always has been. I've known her since the restaurant industry.
Clearly, yes.
And
Yes,
which
Obviously.
grandfather was this?
that was blind guy's grandpa, which is
Okay.
Kimmy's boyfriend. Blind guy's Kimmy's boyfriend, ex boyfriend now's brother. So it was the grandpa, and he said that Courtney has always been malicious. Always.
anyone in their circle that has known Courtney has all said the same thing, and that she is
Hmm.
pure evil.
Hmm. I never
They
would
really
believe
have.
her.
Not one person had anything good to say about her ever.
Mhm.
Yep.
Nobody.
No.
She's a snake, a drug
Now
addict,
we
an
know
addict.
about her father, where this trauma and stuff comes from, but do we know much about her mother? I understand the mother was
Well,
raising
if you heard
Bentley.
the protest live, the freaking guy that came out there, that's the homeowner's nephew, came out there and said, "I think she unalived her mother."
Oh my God, Dora.
I heard that too.
One,
Oh
he
my,
said it in front of everybody on the protester live the second night.
this woman.
When he came out there, he absolutely said
Oh
it. He
my
said, "We've had
God.
nothing but issues with them." And he said, "If you want me to be honest, I believe she unalived her mother."
Courtney had charges for setting either her mother's or her grandmother's camper on fire. I mean,
Yes.
this vile woman.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
just sick. That is, jail is too good for her. Prison is too good for
She
her.
absolutely did, and she said that. I mean, when he came out to the protest, because he came out because he was worried about his mother, who lives next door, Courtney's grandma, and Courtney's grandma didn't really know what the hell was going on because she doesn't have shit to do with Courtney really. That's the same grandma that was buying back the property from Becca, the $2,000.
Huh?
Because she was buying her portion of the property back. So, like, yes, she sold, like, say Becca got a portion, Kimmy got a portion. Well, grandma was just buying that portion back from them. And grandma didn't really even know what was going on. And Russell was his name, the guy that was on the paper, the check. He came out there and he's the one that said, I believe she unalived her mother. And he said, if you want me to be 100% honest.
That's wild. It's not surprising. But I mean,
And we know before Brad and Rich, she was with the girl that comes in here, Wisco, Joe's brother. She was married to him. And she said that she pulled
Yes.
this same shit with him. She would always pretend she was pregnant, always with him. She kept telling him he was pregnant. Well, he ended up passing away after the divorce with Courtney.
And told his mother that he was unalived, and then he came in strong on Sunday dinner. They were heartbroken.
Yes. And you go back to Courtney's Facebook, you can honestly see where Courtney has also pretended that Brad was missing at one point also.
I just don't know how she's made it this long. I'm shocked.
Insanity. Like, I don't even know how a mother, I'm not even going to call her a mother. Yeah, I don't even really
She's
want to say the words I want to say. But how could you even think for 2 seconds that you want to take the life of the girl that you birthed and her baby? Are you fucking serious? Because you have an obsession with wanting a baby. It's probably a good thing that you didn't have another one. Because God knows that these children have been nothing but traumatized by her.
I
Even
know, and Wisco was
Stephanie, her
saying that they
mother,
put
Stephanie even said she tried to protect Becca and Kimmy from even going around Courtney when they
that's
got
right.
old enough.
And that she had made it like 18 years
Yep.
without
Yep.
them
Because
having.
her rights was terminated. She tried to drive them over a bridge when they were little. And then when they got 1 years old and 6 weeks old, her rights was terminated after that because she would not stop taking them around offenders. And at first, Stephanie allowed Courtney visitation with them until her rights was terminated because she wanted to take them around offenders. And Kimmy was malnourished.
Do we
When
know who
Stephanie got
Lisa
her.
is in the chat?
Huh?
Do we know who Lisa is in the chat? She said, as a family, we had not contact with the girls.
Yes, I know Lisa. Lisa is the grandma that lives next door's daughter-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, they were not. They did not go around Courtney because Stephanie, when she got them, she said Kimmy was malnourished and Becca was in older girl clothes at a year old.
I heard that. And then I heard Wisco say that they had pretty much given Bentley so many prescriptions he was knocked out all the time. Very
Yes, and see,
strong.
just like Lisa said, as a family, we weren't even allowed to have contact with the girls. That's because Stephanie was like, oh, hell no. Like, you're not going back around them. And Stephanie honestly raised them to be protected from Courtney. And then when they got 18, Stephanie even said in the news interview, she said that Kimmy and Becca was curious of who their bio mom was, and they wanted the contact. They wanted to try to see who she was. As any adoptive kid is, they want to know who their parents are, right? Like, they want to know that. Are they cool? Are they, why
Yeah,
did you
that's
adopt?
very, very, normal for adopted or foster children to be curious. And there was probably
Hey, Ruby.
no amount of, shielding them from that would have stopped that,
Exactly.
unfortunately.
And Stephanie even said her own self that at that point they were 18 and she couldn't stop them.
Sure.
And she said, she tried her best to warn them, and she told them to be very cautious with Courtney, that Courtney is a dangerous person. And she said that, they just wanted to know what their bio mom was like. And so they just formed that relationship just a couple of years ago. And because Becca is 22 and Kimmy's 21. So you think she ain't been in their life but 2 to 3 years.
And luckily, it sounds like Bentley was protected for a while when he lived with her mother, his grandmother.
Yes.
But I can't imagine in the last month what he has seen. Is anybody, I can't remember, Chastity, are you local? Do you go to the court trials?
No, honey, I'm in Ohio.
No. Okay.
No, I do
I
know
won.
somebody that is going to the trial.
Okay. Okay.
And do you
So
know, Chastity, you guys remember the name Caveman and all this?
Girl, I figured out now why she was so scared to death that day she found out he got locked up.
Because he was, yes.
Uh-huh.
Do
Now I
you
know why.
know that that man was sitting on the front row the day of court?
I heard that. Mm-hmm.
I have a
Mm-hmm.
picture of him sitting on
what
Well,
the
was
front
his
now I
row.
involvement?
know. Because she implicated him in the beginning.
Yes.
That's why. Because in the very first, when they were interviewed, very
If you
first
guys
after she went
remember,
missing.
Caveman is the head
Yes.
honcho.
Mm-hmm.
And
She was scared
Caveman
shitless.
Caveman also went to jail for burning a body.
Yeah, she was scared shitless that day she found out alive he would have been arrested.
Yep.
Because she knew she had implicated him, and she knew that if he found out about that, she was fucked.
Yep. Scotty was the owner of the compound. Caveman has a trap house near the
By the
hospital.
hospital. Yep.
And Caveman also was arrested at one point for burning a body. And
Mm-hmm.
yep, he was with the girl named Precious who is in jail currently, and she's also pregnant. And so, but he had gotten released right before Courtney and them had to go to court. Well, he showed up to court and he was on the front row. I have that picture of him in court that day. Let me actually get it.
It's in the very beginning of the affidavit that she implicates him, that he could have done it, and the other guy, I can't remember the other guy's name. So that is the day, and so I remember the day that she was on here, and she found out because we told her he had been arrested the day before. And I tell you what, she tripped the fuck out. And she got off of here. It was the
There he
same day
is.
that she tried to, yeah, it was the same day she tried to say that the guy contacted her and told her that he had seen her at 8 Mile. Remember that
Yep.
day?
Yep.
That's the same day she found out that he had been arrested.
Yep.
And she tripped out and made up that story, and then supposedly was getting a call or something and she had to go.
Yep.
Because she was informed he had been locked up. And she knew she had already implicated him and she knew what he was about.
And that would also explain her 3 a.m. phone call to the gas station.
Absolutely.
Which I'm surprised that was not in the affidavit today.
Oh,
Or
I
did I
think it's
miss
going to come
it?
out. She called them because she
Okay.
needed cleanup. That's why.
Mhm.
Yep.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
I believe he told her to fuck off. Couldn't get in contact with him. One or the two.
So what we heard today, those 18 pages, was a compilation of interviews from Brad and Courtney with the detective.
Correct. From the
That's it, correct?
beginning. Yep.
Correct.
From the
Okay.
beginning to, and a little bit of Kimmy, I think, too, right?
No, just Brad and Courtney.
Or was that
But
their just accounts of what Kimmy had
Right.
told them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's from
and
the very
some,
beginning, from when she went missing up until the 30th of September.
this
Or
is their point of view, them
November.
sitting down with the detectives and saying it, which
Yep.
could be false. We know it's not all true. We know it's not all false, right? They're supposed to be telling the truth, but there's no way because their stories don't match.
Exactly. They're trying to pin it on each other.
But there's
They're
enough that aligns on both their
yeah,
stories. So you just gotta align the
exactly.
ones that match.
Okay. What determines if it goes to trial or not?
Already is.
If they continue their not guilty plea, they go to trial.
Well, you
Well,
know
they could
damn well
offer them
Courtney's big
a
ass
plea
mouth is
deal.
going to push this to trial.
Yeah,
Trial.
I mean, the thing about it is, there's not going to be a grand jury. They're indicting them on evidence only.
Yeah.
And
So, because they have
prosecutor has
plenty.
enough evidence, I doubt they're offering a plea deal with how
Right.
horrific those charges are.
Oh, I doubt that they're going to get a plea deal. I doubt it 100%. And if it is, then I'm just going to say, if it
There's
is a
really
plea
nothing to
deal, it's
plead.
probably going to be like a plea deal. Say, oh, well, if you pled guilty, you'll get life without the possibility of parole, and we'll remove the removal of dead bodies, which was like a $500 fine up to $5,000 fine or 5 years.
Yep.
They could offer that because they're already going to get the thing, but I don't think that they'll get a plea deal that will let them out of there. I think it'll be 100% all based upon life without the possibility of parole.
I
Plus, they
agree. The
have
only
nothing to bargain with. Like, they
right.
don't have anything that they can actually give them other
Exactly.
than if they could produce the baby. That would be
Now
the only thing.
they can change their plea from not guilty to guilty on their own and ask for
Yeah.
leniency from the judge to go within those guidelines. But
Hmm.
I don't foresee the judge being lenient.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And the way they're charged, because they're both charged with premeditated, but then they're also charged with regular murder too. So, like, I guess there is a little room, like, to for a plea, but you're gonna have to give them something. Like, they're not just gonna give you a plea deal. You know what I
So
mean?
as of
Especially in a
right
case like
now,
this.
are they both pleading not guilty?
Mm-hmm.
They did enter the plea and not guilty, but they did not have representation, so that's automatic. Now, once they have representation, they have the opportunity to change it up until trial.
Thank you. Y'all are so wonderful. Wealth of
Yeah.
knowledge.
They have
Brad's been to
both
jail,
of them
yeah.
have lengthy criminal histories. They've both been to jail before.
She's ever actually done prison time though.
Right.
Brad's done prison time, but she hasn't. Hers is like county jail shit, like not prison. But yeah, it's I hope they don't offer him anything. I really don't. I mean, this is horrific.
Sorry, y'all, making the baby's plates.
Good, honey.
Give me just a second, guys. Sorry, my grandmother called.
No, you're good, hon. Do what you gotta do. Jenna, there's no, that baby's not
Not at
alive.
all.
Be charged the way that they're charged if
Right.
they
And
thought
they
that
have
that was
evidence to
so.
back up their statements.
Right. Now, they can always add more charges, but they would never charge them with something like that right off the rip if they didn't have the evidence to back it up.
Exactly.
Okay, Al, you've seen a lot of cases. I'm sure several of you have in here. Where does this stand in the lineup? Is this one of the worst cases you all have ever seen?
I mean,
It's among the worst.
yeah.
There's a few out there that are just as evil.
It's the worst one that I've been like involved, like talk. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know to think we have talked to this woman, some of us,
yeah.
and she just,
It's just,
could lie so easily.
ugh,
Just
it's creepy.
psycho.
Hmm.
I hope she don't know where we all live. I'm somebody's asking about court dates, I think. The next court is
So
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time.
is just Kimmy and Rich, right?
No, Kimmy was
Oh.
canceled for the 16th. Rich may still be tomorrow, but I think in the afternoon. But tomorrow morning is Brad and Courtney.
Oh, okay. See, I thought it was reversed. Okay. They've changed everything, like, especially with Kimmy and Rich, because of how they changed their bonds and all that crap. So a lot of things have changed, so I wasn't sure. Okay, Kimmy's not, yeah, but her time changed. Okay, that's what I thought. So she will be there tomorrow, too.
So Kimmy's trial will be in court tomorrow, and Brad and Courtney, all
See,
three.
I didn't think Brad and I
There's
could have
lots of
swore
different
Brad and
reports in the
Courtney
comments.
wasn't going until the 16th. I could have swore.
Somebody said Kimmy's in the morning and Brad and Courtney are in the afternoon. I don't know. Lots of different reports.
Yeah, it's.
And this will not be
Dora can look it
televised, will
up.
it?
I
YouTube.
don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, Dora can look up the actual things on the Vine link.
And Dora, if you can hear us, someone has asked a couple of times to tell you when you get done to check your live, but it's not about this. I mean, check your messages after this live, but it's not about this case.
Allie, can you check the court dockets for tomorrow?
Pulling
Hey,
up.
Sarah.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Sorry I've been on here. I didn't know I was on here for a minute. Mm. I guess while we're sitting here, if you haven't grabbed your heart me yet, go ahead and grab your heart me up there by Dora's name.
Sarah, have you had the chance to listen to the 18 pages yet?
I did a little bit today, yeah. And I don't even know what I am. I don't have words. I do not have words.
Wilder than our imaginations,
Hmm.
I think, could think.
Yeah. I think there's still definitely things missing in there because it was just, their statements that they were giving. And um, so I think that, they were trying to put the blame on each other. And so I think there's probably still things that the evidence is going to be able to tell us more than them, of course.
So is that kind of next some information we would hear is the evidence that they pulled,
Well,
or
that
will
will
we get more
be,
information?
you probably won't get any more information um, probably until the trial ish. I mean,
Sorry
maybe
about that,
certain.
guys.
It's okay. Certain things
Okay.
might come out, but they're probably not going to give all the evidence they have. They were just given, that's the affidavit of probable cause, and that was basically their statements that they gave the detectives while they were in the rooms by themselves, giving them, the rundown of what they said happened. And
So
go ahead.
I pulled up Vine link just real quick. Kimmy is scheduled for 10:30. Courtney is scheduled for 10:30. Brad is scheduled for 10:30, and Rich is scheduled for 2.
Thank
Hmm.
you, hon.
How could they all be at 10:30?
I think,
Well,
well,
It'll
it's
just be one right
because
after the other.
Courtney, yeah, they'll do Courtney and Brad's and Kimmy's, but I think that potentially Rich might have said, keep me the fuck away from them.
Well, see, Courtney and Brad, they'll be on Zoom. Kimmy will actually be physically in court, and then Rich will physically be there too. So I think that's why they moved him, so he's not there at the same time Kimmy is.
Does it say
Yes.
what kind of hearing it is? Like,
Yeah, they're all prelim.
Okay, so these are going to be very quick. It's all technical stuff. You're not going to get any new information or hear any sort of testimony. They probably won't get to say a word. It's really just,
Oh,
testament.
Courtney's bitch ass will try.
She probably will, but
Are we going to be able to watch it this time?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
they're not going to have this shit live. You guarantee they will not, because I'm going to tell you this right here will probably cause Wexford to go nuts.
I can't believe
This,
they haven't transferred it out yet.
yes, because I'm telling you, if the wrong people start coming to that courthouse, it'll be a nightmare.
Be
And
a shit show.
for Courtney's protection and for their protection on their life and everything else, I think that they will eventually move it out, because you know what I mean? I mean, yes, granted, they're going to be on Zoom in the jail. That's why they're there. They're not allowed to even show up in person.
I mean, with it being as small of a town as it is, just for the integrity of the case, it needs to be, transferred.
Yes, and I think they should keep them via Zoom. I don't think they should be allowed to be dressed in street clothes. I don't think they should be allowed to attend in person at all. I think that this is going to become a wild, ride, and I know and I hope and pray for protection over Stephanie. I do. Because can you imagine how she's feeling? Hearing this and seeing this and sitting right there, having to look at that monster, both of them.
No, I can't. The interview she did where she asked the public to please not approach her, when
I
she's
don't blame her.
that broke me. It truly just broke me.
It did me too, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't want the public even speaking to me.
100%.
You know what I mean? During a time like that, especially, can you just imagine what details she's having to hear, and she's sitting there, and that is all that Becca and Kimmy's known their whole life,
Right.
is Stephanie as mom, and her sitting there just having to face Courtney and Brad. Like, I would be losing my shit.
Yeah.
Girl, I would be punching air.
Somebody said, is there any updates? The only updates is that today, the affidavit of probable cause came out. So it was basically everything that happened in those interrogation rooms, everything Brittany, Jesus, that's what I'm going to start calling them. Courtney and Brad, Brittany, everything that they told police. So, that was read on a couple different people's platforms today. It is out there for you to read if you haven't seen it. It's 18 pages. It's a lot. It's heavy.
It's very heavy, and we're going to read it in here for that couple of people that have asked. And I will say, I know that, I know that people are in my boxes. I'm not putting up a sticker, but I will warn you guys that it is a trigger warning. And when I say trigger warning, it's very detailed. It's very triggering to those. And if you are triggered, please step away. Please take yourself a break.
Very gruesome.
Yeah. I'm going to hop down. Thank you for giving me the space to speak. And Dora, make sure you're protecting yourself too.
Absolutely. Virgo, I appreciate you so much, honey.
You're welcome, babe.
When Justin read it earlier, I literally broke down in tears because with me being pregnant, I just cannot imagine. Dora! Speaking of that, my gender results came back.
What is the baby?
A boy.
Oh, I'm so excited. Congratulations. Through all
Thank
this today.
you. It's cooking.
My partner's sister is pregnant, and she just found out today, and she let us know she's about 10 weeks. She's been keeping it from us.
Congratulations to her.
She was so excited. This is her first baby. She was told she would never be able to have a child. And she is over the moon ecstatic. And so she's due July 4th.
Oh, that's
amazing.
fun.
That is actually pretty cool. I'm doing June 15th.
Girl, yes, Gemini, baby.
I know you were gonna say that.
Because I'm a Gemini.
If you hold out just a few days longer, it could be a Cancer like me.
Come on
It's
now,
June
Sarah.
22nd. Well, I'm on the cusp, okay? So I'm like a Gemini, but a Cancer too. I kind of got split personalities, maybe. I don't know. But,
I'm a
but
Virgo.
congratulations, though. But you scared me to death and you went, Dora! And I was like, oh my gosh,
Me
you scared me
too.
to death.
Yes, mine is June 9th.
Thank you, thank you. Well, you might just have you a birthday twin because all my babies come early, so.
Come on now. That baby needs to be born. You June 10th, June 8th. Pink Survivor is twins with me. She's also June 9th.
Girl, I almost forgot to tell you. I've been so busy today. I was like, oh Lord, I haven't told Dora.
I'm so happy because I forgot to, and I'm so sorry I forgot to even ask you. There was a lot going on today, and I'm like, man. And then my grandmother called because she wanted to remind me what day I need to take my grandfather for his treatments. He has to have radiation, and so we have to go do that. They want to see if the radiation will work before they take out do the procedure for his cancer, and they just want to see if that'll cure it before having to literally go in. Because they said if the radiation doesn't work, then they would have to go in and remove his entire ear. And they said that he would lose his hearing regardless. The radiation will take it or the surgery. So they want to see that route first.
We'll be sure to pray for your
That's
grandpa.
tough.
Yeah, he beat
Um,
cancer once. He had non-Hodgkin's once before, and then this one they called it a rare type of cancer in the ear, and it spread to the bone, so it's deep down in there. And they said the only other option is either a surgery or radiation.
Poor guy.
I am gonna have Allie, my girl up there in the second box, to start reading the documents. I will tell you guys, hi, my friend Allie. My Allie in the bottom box has a grandbaby coming soon, so we're
it's exciting to hear of all these babies amidst
Sorry,
this
I got
tragedy.
disconnected. My
know,
daughter-in-law's calling me, so give me just a second. I'll be right back, Dora, okay?
okay,
Maybe
honey.
this is good news.
Yeah, she's got a baby on the way too, and I feel like all these new babies. I mean, around this time, I think that like I said, Becca has gotten so many aunties and uncles around the world that actually care.
it
She
brings
gained
it brings a
people.
joy.
What
It
was you gonna say,
absolutely
Dora?
does. And I feel bad. I hate it. Um, she didn't deserve that. On all at the hands of Courtney. And it still bothers me that murderer sat in these boxes.
Too.
Absolutely. I'm just going to wait on Allie real quick. Allie, I'm going to call you Allie number 1 and Allie number 2. I'll wait on Allie number 2 to come back, and then we'll get started on the documents if you don't mind, Allie.
I'm more than fine with that. You guys can hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Judy. Yeah, I think that, it's through this whole case, it has brought a lot of us together.
Amen.
And I think that we make a kick-ass team. I really do. I think
Yes.
all of us, we make a great team, and imagine what we could do for other cases as well.
Absolutely.
I agree.
We're gonna need a break after this one.
Oh, Annie, There's my beautiful Annie, my fucking wanka has finally arrived.
You fucking wanker.
Yeah, the Wanka is going to throw some scones, hard scones at them now. Not right, Annie?
Yes, most definitely.
We love Annie. Yes, we adore her. We were going through. You guys know she shed a lot of light in here the other night after a heavy week. We all laughed about her lampshade on her ceiling, and we had a great time. We laughed. And court is at 10:30 tomorrow, Peggy, and I appreciate her for that. I do. I appreciate all of you guys that are in here on a regular, and we talk about these things. And yes, it's very triggering to a lot of us, and I know that it's hard and it's heavy. Hey Gigi, I hope your husband's surgery went well, love. I've been sending up positive vibes for you. It's really heavy, and shocking. It's shocking to a lot of people, and we wasn't expecting gruesome like this. Like, how could you? And even if it wasn't as gruesome, it's still horrible. How could you even do that to another human being? How could you hate somebody that much?
They're monsters. Pure evil.
On your own grandbaby.
I know you're going to be reading it again, Jax, and I'll probably be jumping off because I don't know if you can tell, but I now have the crud that's been going around, so I've listened to it. I know.
Girl, take you
I
some
got it
Mucinex.
from Dora and Sarah Sue. I'm just kidding.
I know Dora got us all sick.
But I've listened to it 3 times today, so I probably won't stick around for long. But there's only one thing that I wanted to see if somebody could clarify for me, either you or Allie. I'm confused about the autopsy report said that she was or was not stabbed in the neck. But it didn't hit any vitals, correct?
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was soft tissue to the neck. Yes, it didn't hit any veins, and it wasn't deep.
So that pretty much takes out what Courtney said in part of her thing as BS.
Yep. They said it was super vital, like
Super
to the
close.
neck area. That it didn't go, like, the laceration wasn't deep enough to like hit like a main artery or but
I
they
just
did
want to
say
clarify because there's that one part later that I'm sure if you haven't heard, you will, where Courtney is talking about what Brad said, and it was just bull crap. So I wanted to just clarify that, that I was correct with that, because I was like, wait a second, the autopsy said it didn't hit anything.
And I'm gonna be
vital.
honest, I think 100% that Courtney did the poking.
I do too. Like I said, I've listened to it like 3 times today.
Because Brad's a sick fuck, but I don't believe that he was the one that did the poking. I think she 100% did it in the car and made Brad go with her to dispose.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely, like, both stories together probably equal the truth, but I think Brad had more consistent truths in his side of the story. But that's just my speculation, my opinion of it. I listened to it like I said, a few times, and I was just like,
I think he's the one
she
that held
added
her.
so much crap. Yeah.
Yep. I think he's the one that held her down, and I think that he was the one doing everything that Courtney told him to do. I believe that because I can't see her dragging her, because let's be honest, she has to have crutches to walk. So therefore, that's where Brad comes into. I think that she 100%, because if you believed it, She kept saying she was afraid of Brad. Bullshit, because the day that she ran out there in front of those protesters, she told him to get his ass to step into that house, and he did exactly that.
Well, I also don't
It's
believe his
crazy she
claim
has so
that.
much power.
Yeah, I also don't believe his claim or her claim. I'm sorry, that she had been out there the whole time. I mean, because we know for a fact that she wasn't out there the whole time. We had,
No.
our searchers out there who said that they covered that area. She was not there. So I think that they're leaving out parts of it. And,
I think she went and got Becca, and I think they went and got Becca, and I think Courtney and her had a little bit of words on the way back, and Courtney used the poker 100%.
yeah.
And then they freaked out and was like, let's get her to the damn woods.
They said that she was supposed to be conscious when the baby was removed. But you think the poking started in the car?
Yep, because it said it. It said it in the document that, according to Brad, Courtney had that poker and poked her with it to start with in the car, and then took
She
her to
had
the
so
woods.
many pokes. She had a lot of pokes, guys. She had a
She had
lot
like
of pokes.
6.
It wasn't just
Right.
in the back, and then
In the
she had them in
back.
the arms,
So
and
Oh my gosh, what?
I don't know.
I
yeah,
think
you'll
the
hear it
first
all. But
one.
I mean, she
I think
was
the first
poked
one
a
took
lot.
place in the car, and then she probably tried to run
Yeah,
or try to get out, and they put her in the second car. That's where they took her to the woods.
yeah, and I
Nikki
wouldn't
Jean,
doubt
we're
that she
actually getting
was
ready to read
awake.
them.
I still don't think she was unalived in those woods, though.
I don't
I don't
either.
either. I think that that's where they took her to do the job, and then they stored her somewhere and brought her back out. I believe that
Part of
100%.
me, part of me thinks that it happened either on that carpet or in the shed. That's just
Yeah.
my feelings on it, because I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that they took her out there just to do that and then went back and forth. There's a lot of things that
Because
I
if you
just don't
listen to
find
that
logical.
statement that was made today, Brad said that him and Courtney went and got her. And when they got
Yeah.
her, the story was true about laundry detergent, that Courtney wanted to give her laundry detergent and go to Shakes. And then when she's in the car, Courtney said something to Becca, and then used the poker. And then they took her from that. They put her in that truck, took her back to the woods.
Yeah. There's so many I just feel like there's still so many inconsistencies. I think that it'll definitely be interesting to see what comes out, during
Because
the
think about
trial.
this. Think about this shit. She said that he said she was poked on the way there, right? Like Courtney had pulled out the thing from the glove box and poked her with it. However, Courtney says Brad was driving. Do you really think that Brad would be driving and use a poker and take his eyes off the wheel and not wreck?
Yeah, I thought that too when I heard that.
Well, and I think too the whole part of, like I said, I don't believe we have the whole true story, but there are truths within what they're telling us. The part where it is mentioned that after everything took place, that they literally hooked her up with a rope to drag her, is I feel is that's when she was dragged back to the property.
Yep.
You guys, oh sorry.
No, you're fine, honey. That, but not just 20 feet down the bank. No, because she was not out there for 3 weeks.
No, ain't no
And
So I
she
way.
think
did
to
it.
get
It
her
didn't
back to
say.
the property, definitely had to drag her back.
Well, it didn't say anything though about her in the autopsy or anything about her having any types of like drag marks or anything. So that was another thing that struck me. Like, you guys, do you think maybe, and I know that we've said that we wanted to stick to facts and not speculate so much, but just maybe you think that maybe this had been done at home and they're both saying that it wasn't to try and protect Bentley because he was home?
See,
Yep.
that's
They
what I
tried to
think
keep him
too.
out of
I
it.
keep thinking it was done there. I don't even think they were out in the woods.
I don't
Because
either.
there's no way she was way too clean to be,
Yeah.
according to the people that found her, she was way too clean to be out there for 3 weeks. Because let's think about it. If
Mhm.
you have a spotty, like, yes, could potentially the blood pool could have stopped the decomp, right, for a matter of time. However, but you got to worry about coyotes. You got to
Yeah.
worry about bears.
Yeah.
And now we know what the cheek thing was about. That wasn't
And
frostbite.
That
animals
is
would swarm that.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And bugs. No, there's
So the
no way. And
cheek
I've said that
wasn't
since day
frostbite
one.
and it wasn't animals either. It was them.
Yeah.
Yes, and
I
that's the
just,
thing. You think if you leave somebody out in the woods for 3 weeks that an animal is not going to approach it, you're
Shit.
crazy.
and
Yeah.
bugs. And bugs.
Because
There's a,
animals are 100% attracted to the smell. So
Boston
they would have
girl,
been there.
they right there. Her placenta was still attached to her. That the animals would have literally taken off with that. There's
I keep
no
going back
way.
to it after listening to it today. I'm like, there's a lot of inconsistencies. I truly think that maybe it was done at the house. Like, we all speculated that it was, and that they're just trying to say it wasn't because Bentley was at home. And I'm not saying he did or did not see anything. I'm just saying maybe they're just trying to keep him away from it,
Yeah.
maybe.
I get what you're saying.
I'm
I
actually
just
with sorry.
It's okay. I just keep thinking about it, and it's just that does all of
I
the,
don't think her last words was
evidence.
save my baby either.
Oh, I don't
Mhm.
either. I'm sure she probably wanted her baby saved, but I don't know that that was
I don't
anyway.
think she
But
said that at all. I don't even think she had time to say that. Let's be real. I mean, you think about the how this was mentioned and the things said and the things done. She didn't have time to think, let alone uh
I think that when
know
she did, it was
understand why.
screaming. Yeah.
Somebody's way of saying, "Oh, I was her savior."
Yep. The hero complex. Yep.
And the other thing, guys, is we still don't have the baby. We still can't find the baby. What if there's still that possibility that she did give him to somebody else?
Oh, I think they disposed of him in a in that
Like they
dumpster
say they did?
I
because
believe that part.
I
yeah,
agree.
because
There's
she
no
said
way.
because Brad said that she put him in a trash bag and put him out on the back porch in that cooler and then took
Yeah,
him to
I
a dump.
know. But I just, or to, no, to another trash can down the road. But I keep going back and forth about that too because, they're doing what liars do and they're adding a lot of detail to the things that it just seems a little fishy to me. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Hence why the
Unfortunately,
police is at the landfill.
exactly. And I kind of feel like until like, hopefully we do find this little body, I'm just not sure that I'm going to fully believe what they're saying.
the
I don't know
medical
that I
care
can.
needed for a C-section. So when a baby is delivered via C-section, their lungs don't naturally inflate. Along with they don't know where they're using to
Yeah.
get through. So the likelihood of them being able, plus she was poked beforehand, and that will also cause fetal distress. So all these factors, it's very unlikely that that baby survived.
But
Can
then
I get
again,
a
I have seen a
get a second
C-section
here?
happen in real life where they brought it out and it did cry. So I mean, I kind of feel like it's iffy. Like there's a lot against it, but I don't know. It's just I feel like until I can't believe the crap that they say is
Right.
the moral of
I'm
the
sorry,
story.
Martha. I know you wanted to speak, babe. What's up?
So does anybody, and I'm not being an asshole, don't think I am. Does anybody know how the trash service and shit works around here?
No.
Okay, I'm going to explain it to you, okay? So GFL is a Canadian company. Okay. They have a landfill here in Wexford County, and there is a recycling center and a sorting center that are in two different counties here. All of the trash that GFL, just that company, okay, so this is important, just that company takes all of their garbage up to Traverse City, between Traverse City and Kalkaska, and they sort that shit. My friend Charlie works there. It's disgusting. They sort through every single box, bin, every single thing that comes off of that trash truck. If that infant, I refuse to call it a fetus, if that infant was in a plastic bag, in a cooler, even if, and we know how that goes through those trucks, even then, it's still in a container that Charlie would find, if that does anything for you. They had, there was presents, I have heard. There was presents at the recycling and sorting center
Yes.
while this was happening. If that infant was truly put in a dumpster in a GFL container, they found him. They did. Because
And they may have found them and just not telling us
that's
yet.
what, and that's what I want people to at least hold on to hope for, okay? Because God, can't we get a win? Any kind of win here?
Completeness can.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yep, I'm hoping so. And I'll be honest, Martha, I have had so much anger all day just knowing how dare her show her face on this damn app and come in these boxes and try to speak like she was the mother of the year.
Every word she said was, well, no, okay. There was a lot of truth in both of the confessions. There was a lot of truth in both of them. There was a lot of lies and a lot of back and forth. But there was a lot in there that was facts, and we all have to agree, I would think, that out of the two of them, Brad was telling the most honest, truthful story.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'll be honest, I said this from the start. I think that she told Brad what to do 100%. And I think that he participated in those ways under her authority. And I think that she was the one to initiate this stuff.
You know what? I almost don't doubt for a damn minute that he didn't know exactly that was going to happen right then. I almost bet you that bitch jumped, like, did that when he was there, because what else is he going to do except go along?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because Brad typically is the driver in these situations. If he was driving, how in the hell could he have pulled out an object and did that without wrecking?
Hey, isn't she missing her right leg? I'm not being an asshole. I'm asking. Isn't it
Yeah,
her right,
left leg.
her left? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
not when you're looking at her left. I mean,
So
literally.
when she's sitting down in a vehicle, she would have her right leg or
So she wouldn't have
no.
her driving foot, so she could
So
drive.
she's missing her right leg.
See, that's what I was asking. Driving with, y'all ever driven with your left leg? That shit is awkward.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
Well, I guess if you
But
don't
somebody in the
get
chat
in the
said she
right
drives,
leg.
and I've heard that too, that she drives.
Yeah, and you gotta think, she's been without that leg for 10 years. She's adapted.
Yeah.
She's used to it by now.
Yeah, and like I said, if her right one's gone, her left one, it's not in the way. You know what I mean?
I think that she did it, and she told Brad, "Get your ass in here and help me," um, and because and then I think he drove from that point to the field.
Yep. or to put her in a shed and then
Yep.
eventually
I
out
think
there with.
100% that he
There's the one thing I don't know if anybody here has caught on to when they were reading that. But if the crime started in the vehicle on the trails, then it was on federal land.
Yep.
That's death penalty.
I think it started before that. I think they got her there on the way there is when she took the first poke.
Martha, that's interesting. That brings a whole new layer because earlier we were having this discussion and a couple folks were saying they were kind of hoping it didn't go federal because federal prison's easier than state prison. But now knowing that federal prison, it could lead to that penalty, wow, that is a game changer.
Gonna
That's
sit
the
on
only way
death
it can
row
lead
for
to the
over 30
DD is because
years
Yeah.
while they do their appeals. Like,
no, they aren't going to get any damned appeals in this state. Don't you know how we are? We love babies.
It's not so much as appeals; it's the process because there's a portion of
Yeah,
people.
because they're allowed 3 appeals.
It won't matter. They're not going to get any of them. They'll get denied for every one of them. Also, just throwing this out there. If anybody knows anything about petitions and how they work, anybody? I'm asking. Because I don't. I'm genuinely asking. I'm not like being a smartass.
So I can get you in contact with Kristen or Allie. Kristen would know how they work.
Because
Yeah, and I think it depends on the petition and for what, as to who it would go to and all that.
Well, we could. I'm just saying, I have a platform, and there is a benefit that there's going to be a lot of physical people at, you know what I mean, that could physically sign a petition.
A petition for what, though?
Yeah, that's the key.
Well,
I don't think feds are gonna pick it up. I feel like if they were going to, they already would have.
no.
Yeah, they
How this
presented
works.
to the
So
federal
listen,
office.
I want you to understand that, and we have done this here, okay? There was another case in this same area, okay? The state prosecuted it. When the state got done prosecuting it, the feds prosecuted it. These men are sitting on death row awaiting the death penalty now.
Yeah, the feds
From
can pick it up
Michigan.
at any
Okay.
time.
So the feds can get them anytime. Another example of how we do things here is a couple that was, and this is just a felony case, and now it's gone federal because it was crossing state lines, and that's how Michigan works, and that's how federal works.
Yeah, crossing state lines, automatic federal.
Right. A couple in Michigan in Wexford County, adopted 2 little girls in Wexford County. They abused those girls in Wexford County. They took them all the way down to Tennessee. They abused them in Tennessee. It came to light while they were in Tennessee. Tennessee convicted them. They charged them the Climps 10 years. They're here in Cadillac. By the way, Jessica and Courtney, I'm not going to tell you how I know this, are in the same pod. They're not in the same cell, but they are in the same pod. And the way that works is like there's a pod is like a day room, and off of that pod there are multiple levels. Okay, and there's 2 women, 2 each cell. So women, you know what I mean? We don't have a lot of women in our jail, but so she probably has her own freaking room, and they probably both have their own room because nobody likes these women. They're probably in relative protective custody while they're at the jail because yes, they get to go out in the day room, and because IHOP has her wheelchair, she has to have special privilege for that, but she also has to be under watch because of that wheelchair and all of its moving parts. So anyway, both of these scandalous evil bitches are in the same jail. I just want you to know that. And Jessica rather, is starting her sentence from Tennessee in Michigan. She's going to serve the 10 years in Michigan without parole for Tennessee, and then when that's done, Then she gets to start serving what we convict her of here. We don't fuck around. She's going to be in jail a long time. And scandalous here, she will never see the light of day. She'll be lucky if she gets a visit. Because who's going to go visit her? Bentley, maybe. Maybe. But he's probably glad he's away from her.
That I agree with.
I wouldn't think with her charges though they would allow him to come see her, but I'm not sure. That's just my opinion. I know
Yeah,
he does
they
have this
do.
here in
They
jail.
allow minors to visit
Even
Yeah.
with
their
those charges.
Yeah, it
Yes.
doesn't matter. You have a right to visit.
Yep, and I think that they will be on high alert and they'll have a visitor. They'll have a
And here's
guard there.
another thing.
Right.
Here's another thing. Look up how many women's prisons there are in Michigan. Not many. And none of them are close to here. Not any of them.
Send
Who's
her to
gonna-
Detroit.
Right. I think there's 2 in the whole state. I think, for women. Actual prisons. I think there's only 2. Because there's not, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, but women don't felon like the men do. We just don't. Or we don't get caught is probably what it is.
They have one. It's called Women's Huron Valley Correctional in Pittsville Township.
Yeah. That place sucks.
Repeat that, please, Dora.
It's called
Huron Valley.
Huron Valley, yeah, correctional
HU.
facility.
Yeah. It's HURON.
Oh, and they say that prison has nothing but black mold and
Yeah, it's nasty.
Good.
Yeah, it's nasty. And they'll probably send her there because it's nasty. And that's where they send the nasty ones, is where it's nasty. Because why? Why wouldn't you?
Correctional facility.
yeah, there's a lot of in that one in the Huron Valley. There's a lot of reports about that one that says Huron Valley Women's Prison, they don't receive proper medical care, black mold,
Good.
lots of things reported on that one. Send her there.
Yep, sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, so we are going to have Allie number 1 to read the documents. Allie number 2, I know that this might be hard for you, babes. I do want you to prepare yourself. I had to step away for over 3 hours. I know there's some people in here that have not heard the documents. That's why I'm having Allie to read and start them so that you guys can hear about the stuff today that happened.
Trigger warning.
Right now. You guys are about ready to read that trash? And I'm
Yes.
not. I
Thank
can't
you,
read
babe.
that. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. We're gonna do that.
Love you. I'm leaving. I can't listen
Love
to
you,
that
honey.
again.
Yes, and for anybody in here that may be listening, I do want to tell you major trigger warning. Major trigger warning. So if you are triggered, please understand and step away and take some time for yourself. Breathe. I couldn't even bring myself to hear it all the way through earlier myself because I 100% had to walk away and calm myself down. So
Laura, I'm bathing kids. I'm gonna let Chastity let you know when I'm coming back up, okay?
okay, honey.
Alright, y'all.
Yep. And if Allie needs a break, we understand it. Let her get through it. It's a major trigger warning. So please, guys, if you are triggered, know that we all care about you. Please step away. Please take a break, and please breathe.
I am
It's
gonna
a lot
listen,
to take in.
for as long as I can. I took quite a few days away, but if you see me drop down, just know that I just had to take a step away, and I'll reach out to you, at a later time or whatever. But I think I'll be okay. I think I've
Yeah,
been doing a lot of praying, so I think I'm okay. But if it becomes too much, I will just down. So okay.
absolutely.
And I am
Thank you,
going to
babe.
go ahead and jump
We
down. So I
understand.
love you all, and you guys take care of each other.
Absolutely. And I will be muted through in and out this because sometimes I will have to step away because it gets a lot and I have to have that break mentally because this here is a lot. And this is the probable cause statement from today. So just know that it is a major trigger warning. I can't put it up on the screen. Let me actually get a photo real quick, Allie, before you start that says trigger warning so that everybody knows that this topic is a trigger warning. It's a trigger warning.
Absolutely.
Or if it helps,
Take a break. I'll help you read. Just let me know.
Thanks. This is my second time going through it, so I should be okay. Just please, everyone, if it's too much, we do understand if you need to walk away.
sticker thingy up and write in the sticker box trigger warning.
Yeah, it won't let me. So what I'm gonna do is this.
Okay.
That works.
Perfect.
So that everybody knows it is a trigger warning. If you have to step away, please step away. Allie is going to regarding the Rebecca K. Parks case and the probable cause statement from today on Courtney and Brad. Well, let me get one that you guys can see.
I was going to say thank you.
Just know I love you guys and a big ol' hug to each and one of you guys.
You too, darling.
Yes, and I love all of you guys too. All of the messages and stuff, just from me not being on the app because of the case. I honestly was just I had to take a step away, but then also my daughter-in-law is getting ready to give birth, so I just love you guys all so much. And again, thank you all for.
Piper, you doing okay, honey?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I took a step away for a minute and got some dinner with my son and my husband.
Good, I'm glad to hear
I
that.
think I'm still in a little bit of shock.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Let me see if this one works. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make it to
Yes,
where you can see the
please,
chat.
everyone, protect your mental health during this.
And for
Oh,
the
yeah.
chat that's asking, what is a probable cause affidavit? Is there a probable cause to press the charges that they currently have against Courtney and Brad? So this is their evidence straight from the police.
Yeah, and this is the stuff we'll hear in court.
So please know that this is violent, this is graphic, and this is horrific. So if you are triggered, please step away. This is their statements. This is the statements.
Is anybody going to be in court tomorrow that we know of?
Thank you,
Jack.
Mikey.
Okay.
And I will be.
How's Jax doing?
She's doing all right. She's, we're just kind of leaning on each other. Thankfully, we have each other here through it, so we're not far from each other.
Good.
Thank you, Heather's back up. Yes, I do want to say that it is a major trigger warning. It is very graphic. It is very horrific. So please, if you get triggered, step away for your own mental health and know that it's okay to breathe and take a break. I appreciate Ali reading it for those of you that was not here. I myself couldn't get through the whole document today, but I am going to try tonight, and I am going to go on mute and allow her to read, but I will be stepping away when it gets too harsh.
And if we need a stop door, don't hesitate to say something, please.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want you guys to be able to hear what these monsters did, but know that it's really bad and we have to take breaks in between. And if Allie needs a break, she can take that at any time. I appreciate all of you guys, and I appreciate the people in my panel, the people in the chat. Again, it does get it gets really bad. So if you are triggered, please step away. This is the Allie. You want to explain to them what this is?
Yes, this is the affidavit of probable cause of Rebecca K. Park. This is the evidence that is coming straight from the police, which is their probable cause for the charges that they have against Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew. All right, are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Affiant, a duly sworn police officer with Wexford County Sheriff's Office, attests to the following facts based on personal investigation or is swearing to the facts of duty sheriff. To establish probable cause that the crime of H, first degree premeditated, FM, tort, conspiracy to commit tort, of a pregnant individual causing miscarriage or stillbirth, conspiracy to commit of a pregnant individual causing unlawful imprisonment, removing an unalive body without the consent of a medical examiner, was committed by the defendant and a warrant for the defendant's arrest. On November 4, 2025, at 12:44, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a call from Kimberly Sue Park reporting that her sister, Rebecca K. Park, had not been seen since November 3, 2025, at approximately S21 and a half Road in Boone Township of Wexford County. W. Reed began Wexford County Sheriff's Office incident report as a missing person investigation. At the time of the report, Rebecca Park was 38 weeks pregnant and living with her boyfriend, Richard Lee Fowler, at 1531 North 41 and a half Road in Cedar Creek Township.
Sorry, in and out for you guys. Make sure your app is updated and then go out and come back in. We can, if Allie is willing, we can give you guys just a couple of minutes before she starts. Again, if you guys make sure your app is updated, there was a new update through the app. So go into your app store, update real quick, and come back. I'm sorry, Ellie.
No, you're fine. Just give them a few seconds, come back in.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they come back in so that they're able to hear it and it's not cutting out for them and you have to go back and read it.
Absolutely.
Can we please?
Ready?
Awesome. They're wanting to know if we can say a quick prayer before we lead into this. Allie, number 2, do you mind leading in a prayer before she reads this?
I will.
Yeah.
God, I come to you again, Lord, and I just ask all before through this journey, Lord. Now I come to you and ask that you just protect our minds, our souls, our spirits, Lord. I ask that you prevent any evil that may try to attack or trigger us in this moment, God. Lord, we just thank you for allowing us to hear the truth. In this case, we voices for Rebecca. We thank you for bringing us all together, Lord. Lord, I just ask that if there's anyone during this reading of the documents, Lord, that needs to step away, that they feel the courage and strength, Lord, to step away and to be able to breathe and come back, and that they're able to feel your protection and your presence, Lord, to comfort them. Lord, I just ask that you just continue to watch over everyone that has worked on this case, Lord, and protect them, God. And I just ask that you just grab Rebecca and let them know they are so loved, Lord. In your name we pray, amen.
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 Thank you so much. All right, guys. Allie is going to continue with the please know that this is a major trigger warning. If you get triggered, please know to step away and come back.
Absolutely. All right. Here, Reed spoke with Courtney Marie Bartholomew, who is Rebecca Park's biological mother and lives at her home. Courtney reported that she was with Rebecca Park the night prior until approximately 8:30 p.m. when an unidentified friend picked Rebecca up from Courtney's residence. Courtney had picked Rebecca up from and get ice cream from Culver's. On the way to Culver's, Rebecca told Courtney that she needed Tide Pods, so Courtney returned to her address at her home to get some Tide Pods for her. Courtney went to the residence, grabbed the Tide Pods, and came outside. When she came outside, Rebecca told her she was going to wait at the residence for a friend. A couple minutes, and a black sedan with tinted windows pulled across the road from the residence. Rebecca proceeded across the road and got into the front passenger seat of the vehicle. Courtney did not know the specific make or model of the sedan car. She could not tell if the driver was male or female. She said that after this, she did not see Rebecca again. Courtney reported to Deputy Reed that she was contacted by Rebecca's fiancé, Richard Fowler, regarding her location later that night. Courtney informed Rich she did not know where Rebecca was and that she left with a friend. Courtney was contacted by Kimberly Park the morning of November 4th, 2025, and was sent a screenshot of the location where Rebecca Park's phone was pinging at. Courtney told Deputy Reed that she proceeded down the road on West 26th Road where she found Rebecca's phone lying by the 2-track just off West 26th Road. This location is less than 200 yards from 30 South, where Courtney's home is located. Courtney checked the phone and thought Rebecca may have. Courtney reported that she took the phone to Richard Fowler's residence on Tuesday, November 4th, and turned it over to him. The sheriff's office issued a press release on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, identifying Rebecca Park as a missing person. She was also entered into Law Enforcement Information Network as missing. On Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, Detective Lieutenant Pisker met with Kimberly Park when she arrived at Wexford County Sheriff's Office. Park has suggested that she might know where Rebecca Park is when she arrived at the sheriff's office. When I asked her about this, she played me a voice message from Courtney Bartholomew that said that Araya Clark had pulled up the Revival Center looking for Narcan and said the pregnant woman that's missing got what she effing deserved. Courtney stated it was Serena Roosh that said something to Rusty Clark, Araya's father. She also added, I left with. When I asked Kimberly if she knows where she is at, she answers that the older guy that Rebecca talks to is Stephen Belay and calls him a pervert. Parks believes that Belay drives a black sedan, adding, like Courtney said, Stephen Belay was contacted and did not appear to have had contact with Rebecca Park. During the interview with Kimberly, she showed Detective Lieutenant Pisker a Blue View brand Model 4 cellular telephone, which says Rebecca Park's phone on the home screen. Kimberly reported that she had looked through the phone and observed that the last communication on the phone reported a missed video call from Clunan14 at Gmail on Friday, October 3rd at 8:43 p.m. The last text message was on Sunday, and the last phone call was to Courtney Bartholomew on Sunday, November 2nd at 20. Kimberly identified that Rebecca uses her phone regularly and daily, and because she did not see any communication on Monday, November 3rd, 2025, she suspects the records of phone activity on the 3rd have been deleted to regularly delete communication records from her cellular phone. Kimberly then played another voice message on her phone from Courtney Bartholomew, who could be heard explaining, okay, when Randy passed away, I was told that your sister had something to do with it. That would give Randy's family an revenge thing because she was involved when it came to Randy. On the message, Courtney suggested, so Stephen Belay is connected to Randy's family, so I would definitely be looking at them. When I asked Kimberly if she trusted Courtney, she responded, not really. On Thursday, November 6, 2025, at 13:55, Detective Lieutenant warrant for the Blue View 4 cellular telephone that had been entered as property in the incident as item 54. The cellular device was submitted to the Michigan State Police Computer Crimes Unit on the same date at 15:16. On Saturday, November 8, 2025, members of an all-county search and rescue with 36 personnel comprised of 5 teams searched the area where Rebecca Parks was last seen and the area her cellular telephone was recovered from. No additional evidence was identified. During this time, numerous tips and leads were coming in and were actively being investigated, however, none located Rebecca Park. Due to reported activity on Rebecca's social media platforms, pen register search warrants were obtained and served to her known social media accounts. However, no outgoing use was ever identified. On 11/15/25, Candace Freeman reported to Deputy Jacob Copeman that her sister, Courtney Bartholomew, had texted her on October 28th that she had given birth to a son and was asking Candace for items for the baby. Through a series of text messages, Courtney says she had given birth at 28 weeks. The baby was in the NICU, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, in Grand Rapids, and that she had named the baby Ashton Lee Bartholomew. Courtney told Candace he's supposed to be coming home this week. As long as he's doing good still, he will. On Monday, November 3rd, 2025 at 14:52, Candace asked Courtney if she was able to bring the baby home, and Courtney told her, no, he did a backslide, but we're still hoping this week. On November 3rd, 2025 at 23:17, Courtney sent Candace a text that reads, my son passed away. On Tuesday, November 4th at 11:18, Candace asked if it was because he wasn't strong enough or if he had gotten sick. Courtney answered, I don't know what happened, I just know he wasn't getting air, and added, all I know is I watched my child unalive right in front of me. Candace asked if she was there when it happened, and Courtney answered, yes, I was. On Tuesday, November 4th at 19:11, Courtney began to discuss with Candace that Rebecca Park is missing. On Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, Preservation's request for a tower dump in area search for the tower and the location between the hours of 1900 and 2200 on November 3rd, 2025 were submitted to T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. Detective Lieutenant Pisker has contacted Courtney Bartholomew about another interview. Bartholomew was reluctant to come in, suggesting that Deputy Reed's interview with her had been thorough. Tuesday, November 11, 2025 at 13:49, Detective Lieutenant Pisker conducted a recorded interview with Courtney Bartholomew. Initially, some background on Courtney and her biological children, raised by the Park family, is established. Courtney then reports how Rebecca and Richard Fowler were initially dating and then they broke up. A relationship between herself and Rich then commences. Courtney reports that she was planning to divorce Bradley. Courtney then became pregnant and was unsure who the father might be, Bradley or Richard, because of the 2 weeks before the court date for the divorce. Courtney reports that Rich showed up at her house with the intention of pew-pewing Bradley Bartholomew. After Courtney rejected Rich, he resumed his relationship with Rebecca Park. Courtney also reported that Rich had returned to her residence and raped her forcefully, causing her to have a miscarriage of the baby she was carrying. A report of this incident was made with the sheriff's office. However, Courtney identified that she was concerned for Rebecca as she was aware of how abusive and aggressive Richard Fowler could be and had encouraged Rebecca to leave Rich. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked about things leading up to the weekend, Courtney reported on Kimberly and Rebecca coming over on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, to her residence. Courtney told Detective Lieutenant Pisker about giving envelopes to Kimberly and Rebecca. These envelopes were later reported by both Kimberly and Rebecca to have been empty. Courtney said she was going to save. Background. Courtney said she was going to give Rebecca cash and didn't want Kimberly to feel left out. So she wanted Kimberly to set up an account so she could put money in an account for her. Courtney then reports having forgotten to give Rebecca some items for the baby while at her house. So she contacted Rebecca and then brought the items to her at Richard Fowler's house Saturday night. She was supposed to pick up Rebecca up to have milkshakes at Dairy Queen and get Rebecca laundry soap. These plans fell through when Rebecca went to Cadillac Munson Hospital as she thought she was in labor. Courtney reported that she and Bradley both visited Rebecca and Rich in the hospital that day. It is confirmed that Rebecca was not in labor, had only dilated to 1, and she was released from the hospital. Bartholomew drove Rebecca and Rich home from the hospital. Courtney said that when they arrived at Fowler's, he was throwing their bags, and Rebecca had whispered to her that Rich had been acting like a real big-ass mom. Courtney offered to take her home with her, and Rebecca requested that they meet for milkshakes tomorrow, Monday, November 3rd, and talk. On Monday, November 3rd, 2025, Courtney said she went to pick up Rebecca between 1830 and 1900 at Fowler's. Courtney reports that as they ride, Rebecca said she was tired, which she confronted by telling her she looked stressed. She claimed that Rebecca was upset with Rich, identifying that he had been hounding her to obtain money to fix his truck. Courtney talked about how she encouraged Rebecca to leave Rich, but said Rebecca was afraid to leave him. Courtney said when they arrived at her house, she gave Rebecca an envelope with $2,000 cash in it, and they discussed Courtney throwing her a baby shower. She identified that Rebecca didn't want a baby shower because she was afraid that she was going to take her baby. One second, guys.
As warning, so please, if you are triggered, please know that it's okay to step away, take a breath. I just want you guys, I keep spamming it in the chat because I want you guys to know that it is a trigger warning.
All right. Courtney said that while they were talking, Rebecca was texting on her phone and mentioned the possibility that she had two phones. Courtney said she went into the house to get laundry soap and that when she came back out, she said, I noticed that she deleted something, but didn't know what it was or said she told Rebecca that she would take her back home, but Rebecca told her to hold on. She had someone coming to get her. Courtney said she pulled out of her driveway and a car came up behind her. She identified that she didn't ask Rebecca who it was out of fear she would push her away, but Rebecca had told her she would be back. Courtney said the car had dark tinted windows. There was no plate on the car, but she could tell it was a Chevy. When questioned that social media was reporting the car had taillights of an Impala, Courtney confirmed she was the source of that information. Courtney talked about someone Rebecca knows who has a Chrysler 300 also having similar taillights. Bartholomew didn't follow the car as she again said it would upset Rebecca if she had.
Thank you guys. Just know that she does have children, so she has to take a break in between reading. And also know that it's okay to step away, guys, when it gets a bit much. Just know that it is, again, the case regarding Rebecca K. Parks. This is the probable cause statement today for Courtney and Brad Bartholomew.
All right, here we go, guys. Sorry about that. When questioned that social media was reporting, okay, we read that Bartholomew didn't follow the carb, that it would upset Rebecca if she had. Courtney said that about 2300 she reached out to Kimberly to get Rich's number. At about 2330 she said she tried to call Rich, so she sent him a text message that Rebecca had left with someone, texting while they were together. Her next contact with Rich was Tuesday morning, and she reported telling him that she had given Rebecca $2,000. Courtney then said that Kimberly sent her GPS location to Rebecca's phone, which she said she had put into her phone, and it took her right to the phone. When I asked who went and got the phone, Courtney then identified we, who was identified as Bradley and herself. It is reported that Bradley found the phone and he handed it. Lieutenant Pisker confronted Courtney of an image she had sent Rebecca of a check that was made out to her name for $18,000. She claimed that when her mother unalived, she was left money to do with what she pleased. Courtney confirmed that she sent an image of the check to Rebecca, but that she had not given the check to her. Courtney denied that there was a statement that Courtney had tried to have this meeting prior had fallen through because she didn't have things in place that she needed to. Courtney said it was simply getting kids together at one time was what wasn't falling into place. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronts Courtney that the phone records for the was not used to summon someone to pick her up, Courtney then identifies that there are possibly two other phones she uses. Courtney brings up names of other people she may think are involved based on rumors, specifically that Mike Haynes and Ashley Crows were supposed to help Rebecca get away from Fowler. As Detective Lieutenant Pisker discussed phone location records with Courtney, she confirms that she was in 1900 and came south on South 41.5 Road to Mackinac Trail and turned west on East 33 Road to continue to her residence on South 21.5 Road. location of this route of travel. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronted Courtney with the accusations that she unalived Rebecca Park, she asked, "Why the F would I do that?" saying that she would never hurt her daughter. During this interview, Courtney Bartholomew said she did not know where Rebecca Parks was. When Courtney was asked if she had done anything to harm Rebecca Parks, she again said she would not hurt her daughter. While discussing the pickup truck at her residence that was reported to Nevermore but had been moved recently to access the porch, Courtney said that Kimberly and Rebecca do not like Bradley Bartholomew. On Tuesday, November 11, 2025 at 1540, Detective Lieutenant Pisker conducted a recorded interview with Bradley Bartholomew. He confirmed his cellular telephone number at 231-9134. When asked about Rebecca, Bradley reported that they don't get along. He explained that it was due to his criminal history. He described Rebecca and Courtney's relationship as rocky. Bradley said he was not around on Monday when Rebecca was at the house. He identified that he was at my place and described living in the woods near Harrietta and the fish hatchery. As Detective Lieutenant Pisker was attempting to confirm his presence there, Bradley said he was alone and that his phone with Courtney as her phone was about to be shut off. The truck at the house was discussed and identified as not having moved in years. The truck up until October 21st, 2025, when the license plate expired. When asked if the seats were out of the truck, Bradley confirmed that they had been. He explained a similar explanation that they were cleaning the truck up for Courtney's son Bentley, 14-year-old, to drive it when he turned 16. When Bradley was asked again when he found out that Rebecca Park was missing, he identified it was Monday night or Tuesday morning. He again denied being at the residence. Bradley told Detective Lieutenant Pisker that on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, Courtney Bartholomew was in town, and he was at the house with the 14-year-old when Courtney texted him the location of where Rebecca's phone was. Bradley said he refused to go out there alone, because I'm not being accused of anything. Bradley said that when Courtney got home, they went out to look for the phone based on the ping that Kimberly Park had sent Courtney. Bradley confirmed that he was the person who found Rebecca Park's cellular device on the 2-track near Courtney's home, and he picked it up and handed it to Courtney. Bradley said he didn't know how Rebecca's phone ended up on the trail in the past. On Monday, November 24, 2025, Courtney Bartholomew came to the Sheriff's Department and Detective Lieutenant Pisker began a recorded interview with her. This is in discussion about the TikTok live conversation. I asked Courtney
guys in these next coming pages.
Absolutely. All right. I asked Courtney about a cellular device that a bounty hunter dropped off at Clark City Police Department. She identified this phone was provided by Kimberly. During this meeting, I asked Courtney about Kimberly's personal property in her vehicle. She confirmed she was in possession of items that belonged to Kimberly. However, she didn't want to leave the items with me to return to May 4, 2025. Bradley Bartholomew was interviewed by Detective Tim Helen at the Michigan State Police Crime Laboratory in Grayling. During his interview, Brad reported that he is trying to protect Kimberly Park on a 2-track behind the house, and he stated, "I believe she's unalive." Bradley Bartholomew said to Detective Tim Helen that he was present during a dinner with Courtney Bartholomew, Rebecca Park, and Kimberly Park on Saturday, November 1st, 2025 at Courtney's home. During this time, Bradley said that Kimberly had a private conversation with him about the 2 tracks behind the house, and that Kimberly stated she. On Tuesday, November 25th at 14:16, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a 911 call from Courtney Letterman from telephone number 231, stating that she had found a body covered with leaves that looks gutted. Straight line west of 30.5 Road in Antioch Township of Wexford County on Forest Service Road. Wexford County Deputy Jacob Copeman responded to the area, observed the remains, and reported the deceased female has a tattoo above the left eye. Copeman reported that the abdomen area of the body appears to have been cut open. The tattoo located above the left eye is consistent with the Michigan driver's license image of Rebecca K. Park. Michigan Police Trooper Cody Campbell was inside the residence of Courtney's home on Tuesday, November 25th, securing the residence until Michigan State Police Crime Laboratory personnel could search the home based on a search warrant that had been authorized on that date. While in the presence of Courtney Bartholomew and Bradley Bartholomew, Courtney and Bradley were discussing amongst themselves, loud enough for Trooper Campbell to hear. Courtney mentioned to Bradley that the seat cover from the Ford F-150 in the driveway had recently been burned and disposed of due to something having been spilled on it/them. A search warrant was served on the records that were produced pursuant to the search warrant show Bradley Bartholomew's device active in the area of Courtney's home on November 3rd, 2025. Further, these records show device movement and lingering in the areas consistent with where Bradley and Courtney reported recovering Rebecca Park's cellular device and where her body was discovered on several occasions on Monday, November 3rd, 2025, in the evening hours. These records take place after the records obtained from Rebecca Park's phone and network demonstrates her arriving in the area of Courtney's home shortly after 1900. Additionally, records from Rebecca Park's phone extraction shows locations consistent with the reported location of recovery of the device. A search warrant was served on Verizon for Courtney. The records that were produced pursuant to the search warrant show Courtney Bartholomew in the area of Courtney's home, and both Bradley and Courtney's records show them in communications with one another shortly after her arrival with Rebecca at her home. Additionally, Courtney Bartholomew phone records have activity consistent with her interview statements that she traveled to pick up Rebecca Park at Richard Fowler's residence, then transporting to her home. Bradley Bartholomew's call detail records show the following calls of investigative interest. And it shows the records of phone calls, 2 minutes at 1812, second call at 1929, 54-second call in 1933 from Bradley to Courtney. At the time of the call of the 1812 device network show Brad and Courtney's device near the area of Courtney's home, and this precedes the activity of Rebecca's device coming into the area. At 1929 and 1933 again show Brad and Courtney devices in the area near Courtney's home after Rebecca's device records show her arrival in that same area. An autopsy was conducted by Dr. Christine James and was attended by Deputy Alexis Howard. These were 6 sharp force wounds to Park's back, 2 to the right upper arm, 1 to the left trapezius area.
Can you guys hear?
No.
Hello?
Okay, hello, it's skipping for Allie.
And she's not on mute.
All hear me now?
Yes.
Can
Pause.
imagine.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yep. She's on mute for a second, guys. If you're experiencing a lag, try to see if you have an update. If not, clear your apps out and come back in.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Am I still skipping?
No, we hear you now.
Nope.
Okay. I'll start over where we were. So we were at an autopsy was conducted at Western Michigan University by Dr. Christine James and was attended by Deputy Alexis Howard. There were 6 sharp force wounds to Park's back, 2 to the right upper arm, 1 to the left trapezius area.
Mm,
Oh, hold
Oh,
on.
shit.
Don't want her saying that.
Out for me. Is she out for you guys?
yeah, we might need a second person to read. I can go to the car and get my iPad if I need. Does anybody else have theirs up?
I have it right here. I just got to
Okay.
find where she is.
Kalamazoo autopsy.
Hold on 1 second. All
page
right,
6.
page 6.
Let me see.
Okay.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I went to a different room. Okay. Can everyone hear?
Yes, ma'am.
And Kristen
Okay.
has it up if you need a break.
An autopsy was conducted at Western Michigan University by Dr. Christine James and was attended by Deputy Alexis Howard. Force wounds to Park's back, 2 to the right upper arm, 1 to the left trapezius area, 2 to the neck, and at least 2 to the face. The right side of the face also has a lacer wound to the cheek of an unknown etiology. The wounds to the neck are described as superficial and do not penetrate muscle or harm any vasculature. Most of the wounds to the torso are contained in soft tissue. 1 to the back enters the left pleural space, but misses the lung. The back enters the right pleural space and does penetrate the right upper ling lobe and cause a large pneumothorax. All major vessels are intact. Rebecca Park's abdomen had incised wounds. The placenta was hanging from the open abdominal wound with attached umbilical cord, and the fetus was absent. The abdomen incision transcended the colon and the small bowel. The stomach contained copious amounts of blue-green chalky residue. There was also a thin film of subdural blood, red stuff, over the left cerebral hemisphere, with focal subdural on the right parietal area. However, there was no subscapular or subgaleal hemorrhage, nor skull fracture is noted. The OA joint had marked laxity, but a posterior neck dissection showed no soft tissue hemorrhage. 2025, a second search warrant was obtained for Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew's residence. Search warrant to seize a 2000 Ford Escape 4-door SUV red in color and a temporary Michigan registration registered to Courtney Bartholomew 92 Ford F-150 pickup truck, white in color, with a Michigan registration, and had them towed to Wexford County Sheriff's Office to be processed by the Michigan State Police. Laboratory technicians were also obtained. Courtney Bartholomew were both taken into custody and transported to Wexford County Sheriff's Office. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 1541, Detective Lieutenant Piskor and Detective Sergeant Hackman conducted a recorded interview with Bradley Bartholomew. Now, this is where it starts getting detailed, so if you need a break, just let me know. Bradley was put on notice that Rebecca's unaliving is an H and that this is an H investigation and that there can't be any more lies. Bradley was read his Miranda rights from a Wexford County Miranda warning card. He confirmed his understanding of the rights explained to him, and he agreed to speak with detectives at the time. When he went to get Rebecca, they came to the house to get Tide Pods, and they were supposed to go get ice cream. Bradley said he was at the house with the 14-year-old. He admitted that he lied during his first interview about being at the residence because of his SO registry. Bradley is told his SOR violations are small in comparison to H, and he says that at the time he didn't know this was an H. He reported that Courtney had backed out of the driveway and his Ford escaped and then she came back. Rebecca was. He said that he knew Courtney left with the white Ford and then came back. He reported that Courtney had told him that she and Rich were in the white Ford and they had a disagreement and there was red stuff on the dash. Reported that he went out and wiped it down. He said he didn't see any red stuff on the floor or the seats, just red stuff splattered on the dash. He described that later there was paint on the seats and Courtney asked him to remove the seat covers, which he confirmed he did, if they were thrown in the burn barrel or in the trash. Next, he said that Courtney was talking to him about how she and Rich did something horrible, but she wouldn't tell. He claimed that once the story of Rebecca came about of her being missing, he put 2 and 2 together. Bradley reported that Courtney threatened that if he said anything, she'd make his life hell. Bradley identified that Courtney tried to poke him with scissors in the past and charged with assault, but the case was dismissed. Bradley clarified that Courtney had told him about something bad happening 5 to 6 days after Rebecca was missing, but he claimed he wasn't sure what the bad thing had been done. When asked about the story of the baby in the NICU at DeVos, Bradley identified she was supposedly adopting a baby, but he didn't see how she could due to his status as an SOR. Bradley said that Courtney was alone on South 21.5 Road and that she returned approximately 15 minutes later. He stated that he had sent texts to Courtney to see if she needed him to come outside for anything, and she responded in the affirmative. It was now into a fight with Rich. Bradley said he never observed Rich on this date and that he did not observe any injury to Courtney. Returning to the something bad topic, Bradley was asked to continue that topic. He identified that Courtney is all over TikTok and that Kimberly was over to use Escape to deliver newspapers. He confirmed that Kimberly left personal items in the Escape and identified she did it all the time. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked about anything else that Bradley wanted to know before drilling down questions began, he said Courtney was constantly talking to Rich. He agreed that she was also constantly talking to Kimberly. He reported he can't hear their conversations, as they are all taking place by text. He only knows it's them because he sees their names on her phone. Records from carriers, specifically T-Mobile and Verizon. He was asked about Courtney's phone that she had previously said she was no longer to have service. Bradley identified that she had service restored but was aware that she had conducted a factory reset on the phone. He was notified that a factory reset does not prevent access to records that are maintained by the carrier. Bradley said that he had Courtney's phone on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. It is pointed out there are phone calls between both the phones he uses and the one that Courtney uses while Rebecca is at the house. He passes these as simple. He reports that he hasn't driven the truck since he parked it and that it only had enough gas to get to the gas station. Dr. Lieutenant Pisker confronted Bradley's statement about the red stuff in the truck, confirming his knowledge that the truck had been seized. Found in the truck, there will be a big problem. Bradley is confronted if he thought Courtney had been lying to him about what went on, and he says he does. He suggests he can't see Courtney and Rich being together like that as they haven't talked in over 2 years. Bradley confirms that there are no $18,000 checks. He did not know why Courtney sent images of the checks. On Saturday, November 1st, 2025, after their dinner that night had ended, he said she was asking about the 2 checks behind the house. He denied that Kimberly told him that she needed to get Rebecca out of the picture. He identified that Kimberly had said this to Rich Fisher. Detective Sergeant Hackman confronted that this is not what Rich Fisher told him when he interviewed him personally. Bradley reported that Kimberly is jealous of Rebecca and that he is aware that Kimberly has had a relationship with Rich in the past. Bradley reported being upset when Kimberly was on the internet saying that he and Courtney were responsible, making a statement that he doesn't understand how anyone could do that to a pregnant woman. He answered that he believes that Courtney and Rich would be capable of doing something such as this. When asked for what purpose, he gave different possibilities. Bradley agreed he believes Courtney is capable of slicing open her own flesh and blood and taking a baby out of. He agreed Courtney was obsessed with wanting another baby in her care and custody. He also agreed that it was a good possibility she could attack Rebecca and cut a baby out of her. Detective Sunday that Rebecca was in the hospital. Courtney saying or texting, "Don't you dare have this baby in the hospital." And Bradley remembers someone saying it, but not who was saying it. Bradley confirmed going to Fowler's house on Saturday to take the gifts to Rebecca that Courtney forgot to give her at the house earlier that day. While discussing being upset that Kimberly had accused him of being involved, Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked why he hadn't called him, and Bradley said that Courtney had threatened him that she didn't want him involved. His explanation was that she didn't want to get incriminated or himself incriminated. Bradley began to say that he thinks Courtney has more to do with it than what she claims. He said all the evidence is pointing to her. He suggests he believes all the evidence would be in his white Ford. The red stuff he observed inside. Bradley said that he removed the original seat covering about a week and a half after Rebecca went missing because it had got white paint on it. When asked what he thought happened, Bradley responded he thought Courtney was jealous of Rebecca. He agrees that Courtney would like to have another child. He also thinks that Rich wants to get back into a relationship with Courtney. Bradley agrees he thinks Courtney could point to him. When Bradley is confronted with Courtney being in possession of a cellular device when she went to pick up Rebecca, he claims he can't say she possessed it, but it was there at the house and he had it to call her. He then confirms that Courtney did not have that phone when she went to Fowler's to pick up Rebecca. He reports she got that phone when she came back from getting the white Ford. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Bradley what else he wanted us to know about, and he told us that Courtney had scalpels in her bedside stand, describing them as disposable scalpels for lancing cellulitis. Bradley doesn't remember going anywhere the morning of Tuesday, November 4th, other than to Fowler to give him Rebecca's phone. Hospital on Sunday, November 2nd to bring Courtney her wheelchair, and that he was driving the white Ford pickup truck while Courtney was there with the Ford Escape. He did not ride back to Manton with Courtney when she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Bradley begins to show some emotion about the possible outcomes of this investigation. Bradley is given a break at this point in the interview. On Sunday, November 30th, Detective Pisker and Detective Voss conducted a recorded interview with Courtney Bartholomew. Courtney was read her Miranda rights from a Wexford County Miranda warning card. She confirmed her understanding of her rights, explained to her, and she agreed to speak with the detectives at the dinner at her house on Saturday, November 1st, 2025. It was herself, Rebecca, Kimberly, the 14-year-old, and Brad was hiding in the truck. Detective Pisker notified Courtney that this homicide investigation and the lies must stop. Courtney reported Bradley is hiding in the truck because the girls won't come in if he's around because they don't like him. She reported that dinner ended around 1930. The next thing that happened was she called Rebecca about the items she forgot to give her, about the items all. At the time, they were in the Ford Escape. On Sunday, November 2nd, she was supposed to pick up Rebecca and waited until around 18:30, and Rebecca called to say she was on her way to the hospital. She described the events at the hospital as she had previously. Bradley brought Courtney her wheelchair to the hospital. Bradley was driving the white Ford F-150, and she explained how he stopped at the Meyer gas station to get gas for the truck while she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Courtney wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, and she was told he could not. She reported talking to Rebecca Sunday night. She said that Rebecca asked her about the 2000 and said that Rich was upset about something. Courtney confirmed the trip to Fowler's house on Saturday after the dinner to drop off the items for Rebecca. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Courtney why she wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, saying she thinks she needs immunity. Detective notified Courtney that the prosecutor is the person who can give immunity. Courtney suggests we get the prosecutor here, and Detective Pisker says she will want to know what she has. Courtney says she will give us where the poker is and where the baby is, that she will give it all to us. When Detective Pisker confronts Courtney that she has guilty knowledge, she responded that she has been threatened, her child has been threatened, her home has been threatened, and she is done. Courtney renews her request for immunity and then asks for witness protection. Detective Voss explains we can't offer her. When Detective Pisker asks if the baby is alive, she shakes her head in the negative. Detective Voss asked Courtney about her prior statement that Bradley hides in the truck. He asked her where he hides. She identified in the cab. She describes it as a single cab truck and he lays on the seat. Courtney reported that Bradley had $15 worth of gas in the truck when he was at Meyer on Sunday night. Courtney asked if Bradley confessed, and Detective Voss reported he told us a lot of stuff. Courtney confirmed that Bradley is using the phone with the number 550 and her phone is the 429 phone. She confirms that she had the phone 429 on Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday that Rebecca disappeared. She said her phone was taken on Monday night and she was told to go back in the house. Courtney said her phone was taken at about 20:30. She renewed her request to contact the prosecutor. Detective Voss again told her we need to know what she knows to take it to the prosecutor. When he suggests the example that she will even tell us where the baby is, she interrupts and says, in the garbage in a blue cooler. When asked where she reported, in the GFL court, said he put him in a black bag. The cooler's gone. The cooler is Brad's work cooler. Adding he put him inside the cooler and drove him up and down the road looking for a GFL that wasn't mine. When Detective Sergeant Voss asked why, Tyler turned him in. She explained that it is all retaliation. She identified the night when they went home after their last interview. She confronted him about his examination and his failure. Detective Voss asked Courtney which vehicle he used to get rid of the body. She identified her white truck. She is then asked how he got her in a position to unalive her. She explained how she pulled into her driveway. She had notified she was on their road. She explained that she got to the house and talked to Rebecca for a few minutes, and Bradley walked up and pulled her out and said, "I want to talk to you." Courtney described that the white truck was sitting out by the road and explained she didn't think anything of it. Brad was supposed to be her stepdad. Courtney wanted to know where they were going and that Brad told her to take her ass in the house and don't worry about it. She said she went into the house because she didn't think he would hurt her. Bradley is reported to have returned to the house and told her that he had taken Rebecca home. Courtney confronted that he had not, and he told her he had and that she would call her in the morning. Courtney asked him for her phone, which she reported he told her it was out in the shed. She said when he came back in the house, he said, yeah, she didn't go home, instead of telling Courtney where he took her to a house. But when she asked him to take her there, he just told her that Rebecca said to him that she didn't want to do anything with her. Courtney reported calling Rich to get him to call her back ASAP, and that while Brad was watching her, she told Rich that, dude, your old lady left with some guy, or Bradley would backhand her. Courtney confirmed for Detective Pisker that the story about the black car was made up and never happened. Asking her to continue, she reported Kimberly sending coordinates to Rebecca's phone and asking Bradley why her daughter's phone would be across the road, and his response was, I don't effing know. She asked Bradley to take her to the phone and said he took her right to it. She said that phone was exactly where the coordinates is. She said it was out in the open and it appeared someone had just set it down. They took the phone directly to Rich, but before their arrival, she said that Bradley told her, I'm telling you right effing now, do not say an effing word. Kimberly got the phone from Rich, and Courtney reported that Kimberly had called her and said she was taking the phone to the cops. She said Kimberly called her at 2100 on Tuesday night to tell her this. When asked to continue, Courtney identified that in her second-to-last drawer in her bedstand, she has razor knives that she used to nick open her cellulite, so they will drain, which she said she knew because she counted them due to a teenage boy living in her house. Courtney agreed the pokers are like scalpels. When she confronted Bradley about the missing knife, she answered he didn't say anything then. Detective Pisker confronted her that the use of the word with them means he must have said something later, and she reported it was after the body was found. Courtney said she kept asking Bradley where her daughter was, saying he answered on the report that after returning home from his last interview, he told her about Kimmy was asking about the woods behind the house to go trail riding. Courtney said that Kimberly will not talk to Bradley ever alone. She reported trying to get to Rich Fisher to take Kimberly's bag to her. She said that Bradley said, you can't have that, you're not taking her bag. He said, nobody's taking this bag. Courtney said she realized Kimberly's wallet would want her wallet. Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronted Courtney that he had asked her for Kimberly's property while she was at the sheriff's office on Tuesday, and then she refused. She explained that she was told not to, suggesting she did not want to get her ass beat. She reported that on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, in the morning, Bradley took the truck and went west on West 26th Road and was gone for about 20 minutes. She said that when Bradley came out, she asked him if he had hurt her daughter, and he told her, no, I didn't hurt her. Courtney said that was the same day Rebecca's body was found. Courtney said that on Wednesday, November 26, 2025, what he did. She reported he told her, I'm going to tell you once and I'm going to tell you and you're going to effing drop it and you're going to shut the F up. He's like, I'm the reason your effing daughter's not here, that your life is upside down right now. When she asked him why, she said Bradley said Rich effed with the wrong mother effer. She agrees this is all a revenge plot. Courtney said that when she asked him what he did to her daughter, Bradley said, I slit her effing throat. The B deserved it. She goes on to say that Rich deserved it too, and it just happened to be your daughter that was going to pay for it. Courtney said when she was asked about her grandson, she said Bradley said, oh, I stuck him in a cooler, stuck him in a trash bag, and threw him in the trash. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Courtney why cut the baby out, and she said because if he would have left the baby in there and had somebody found her before he would have survived, he would have thought. Courtney was asked why not just cut the baby out and unalive it, why take it? And she said that he told her the baby wasn't breathing when he pulled him out. Again, she was asked why he take it. Now she answers it was because he didn't want Rich to see them together. She admitted she didn't know what that meant. When he put him in a blue cooler, in a trash bag, and into a GFL container. She confirmed that she is talking about a residential GFL trash receptacle. Courtney said she was never at the location where the body was found. She doesn't know how many times he went to the location. When asked if she was unalived at the location she was found or at the end of her driveway, she answers that she doesn't know, but said in the driveway because he pulled quickly away with her. Walked out of his truck, not the house, to get her out of the truck, confirming that it was the escape and into the F-150. When Detective Pisker reminded Courtney that she knew where the poker was at, she said he threw it in a dumpster in Cadillac Shores. When asked when he had done that, she first announced that it was her hunting poker. She said it was probably like a week after that the poker was in the dumpster. She did not know what happened to the disposable scalpel, adding she had no clue. Detective Voss asked Courtney what she was looking for in an immunity agreement, what she was afraid of, and then confronted her that she provided a lot of misinformation to the police. She reassured us that she would cooperate the whole way. Detective Lieutenant Pisker pointed out her obstruction of the investigation, and she agrees. When asked about the seat covers, Courtney said Bradley burned them. She also said that Bradley went out and cleaned the truck, specifically mentioning the dash. She described that the cloth was burned and the bucket was taken back into the house. Courtney didn't think the floor in the truck was clean. Courtney was asked about the Kimmy stuff, and she suggested Kimberly doesn't know anything. She was just trying to feel important. Detective Sergeant Voss confronted Courtney that she was the person who told us recently that Kimberly was in the black car. She reported that Bradley came up with a story about Kimberly. Courtney said she knew that Kimberly told us that Courtney hit her, and said that she told Ashley and reported Ashley as Rich's baby mom. Ashley Crows has a child with Richard Fowler. Courtney said that all Kimberly did was lie to the police and had no involvement. She also said that Rich Fowler was also not involved, but did say she didn't know if he deleted anything from Rebecca's phone or not. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked about a text message about not allowing anyone from the state of Michigan on her property, and Rebecca saying that they should not talk about that. She is clear on what that means. Courtney denied sending such a message. Detective Voss asked when she first learned what had actually happened. She said it was after her body was found. Detective Pisker then pointed out that she could have covered for herself if she had cooperated on Monday at Mount Pleasant. Detective Voss asked how Bradley told her how he unalived Rebecca, and she said when he asked how she told him that he cut the baby out, he said, "One of my scalpels." She denied that he said how he did that, then said he just said that I cut him out. That was it. That was all he said. Detective Voss asked about the baby getting cut out, being put in the garbage bag, put in the blue cooler, and what he said about that. She said that he just took him. She knows that it was a specific cooler because his work cooler is gone. She shows the size of the lunchbox size cooler and described it as soft-sided cooler with a hard plastic inside to keep the sides supported, and it had black strap. Courtney reported the garbage bags came from her house, and she knows this because she counts her garbage bags. And she knows that 2 of her garbage bags are now gone. The hunting poker is described by Courtney as being green, having a serrated blade on one side and a flat blade on the other side, and is a fixed blade, not a folding poker. She is sure that Bradley used that poker within the last year, and she provided a description of it. When asked if she knows any items missing out of Kimberly's purse, she didn't report any. Courtney denied that 14-year-old knows anything. We took a break and moved Courtney to another room. Dr. Sergeant Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Bradley Bartholomew. We reminded Bradley that the rights we discussed earlier still applied, and he agreed he was still good with it. Detective Lieutenant Pisker notified Bradley that Courtney was putting it all on him. He broke down details that Courtney had provided. Detective Pisker explains how the investigation has come down to involving himself and Courtney. Detective Voss explains how we believe it went down and how evidence will support the investigation. An appeal to Bradley was made that he needed to tell the truth. Bradley is confronted with how much gas he put in the truck when he was at Meyer on Sunday after leaving the hospital, and he reported $5. When asked about the information he feels we should know that we haven't already discussed, Bradley reports that he knows his lunch cooler is missing and describes it as being blue and thinks it's an Oregon Trail brand. He said it's big enough to hold an 8-pack of pop bottles. His description of the cooler is basically the same as Courtney's. He estimates the cooler has been missing for 2.5 weeks. Bradley is not aware of Courtney counting their garbage bags because of 14-year-olds using them. We confront Bradley that she is blaming him for dumping the body and putting the fetus in his lunchbox. It is explained that she is attempting to place the blame on him. Bradley is confronted with a statement that was poked. Detective Voss asked him about that statement again and how he knows that she was poked. Detective Pisker pointed out that both he and Courtney have reported on the scalpel and that you don't need to make a poking motion with a scalpel to slice someone open. It is reported that Courtney said he is threatening her, including in the parking lot prior to them leaving for their interviews on Monday. It is also shared with him that she identified that it was revenge for Fowler turning him on his SOR violation, to which he responded, "That's bullshit." It's explained that when Courtney said about why the baby was cut out of Rebecca during her revenge doesn't make sense. We reminded him of the NICU story and her attempts to get custody of Kimberly and Rebecca's children. Bradley begins to tell us, "I'm sure Courtney poked her because she did have a hunting poker." He reported the case for the poker went into the trash bin and thinks it might still be in the bin. He identified that the poker went in the trash at the Cadillac Shores. He reports that Courtney is the one who cut the baby out of Rebecca. He confirms that he witnessed this and it had taken place right where she is laying out on the trails behind the house. He confirms that the reason he had told the officer to check the trails behind the house. He reported he knew Rebecca had a bunch of leaves on her because Courtney buried her in leaves where she is found. Bradley confirmed that the scalpel from the bedroom was used. When asked if the baby was alive when he was cut out, he responded no. He confirmed that it was just the two of them that were present. When Detective Voss asked when she was poked her, where did she poke her, and Bradley said, "In the truck." When he responded he didn't know as he jumped out of the truck. Bradley reported that Rebecca had gotten into the white truck voluntarily. He confirms that the plan was to get the Tide Pods was legitimate, and he was unaware that the plan was to poke her. While in the pickup, Bradley said he was driving, Courtney was in the passenger seat, and Rebecca was in the middle, and claimed not to know what Courtney had told Rebecca to get her in the truck. Initially, Bradley was in the house with the 14-year-old, and he said he went outside to get away from everything, so you didn't have to worry about Rebecca coming in. He denied getting a phone call from Courtney that they were in the driveway. When he got outside, Courtney and Rebecca were in the Escape, and Courtney had said she blew out the tire on the Escape, so he got in the truck. From here, they got on the trail to the woods because the truck doesn't have a valid plate. Bradley said Courtney was mad because Rebecca was always bad-mouthing her and wouldn't give her a chance to be a mom. Bradley confirmed that Courtney wanted the baby for herself. Despite Courtney wanting the baby, Bradley said it was unrealistic to expect that Courtney would be allowed to adopt the baby. Bradley described that the actual poking began when Courtney just grabbed the poker and started poking. The poker had been down on Courtney's right. He said she poked her in the chest as far as he knew, but said he jumped out of the truck when Courtney started swinging, so he wasn't sure. Bradley knew they were on the trails and said he could take the officers to the scene. Detective Voss asked at what point did they realize that Rebecca was unalived, and he identified that it was after Courtney tried CPR on the baby. Bradley said that Rebecca was not in the truck when Courtney cut the baby out of her. He said that Courtney tricked her to get her out of the truck and made her start walking after she had already been poked. Rebecca walked behind the pregnancy. When Detective Voss asked what Courtney did to unalive Rebecca, he explained that Courtney had Rebecca lay down as she was still alive, and she cut the baby out of her. Bradley said he was beside the trail, telling Courtney that she doesn't need to do that. That's not right. They do not have the bag or the cooler that the baby is eventually put in at this time. Now the baby is cut out, Bradley said they just left Rebecca there. He identified that he couldn't tell if she was unalive or not. Courtney decided that they should head to the house, and Courtney is holding the baby on her lap as Bradley arrives. Bradley said the baby never took a breath and he never heard the baby cry. It took about 5 minutes to get to the house. Bradley said that Courtney took the baby into the house and into her bedroom, where she started to try to perform CPR on the baby, which is on a towel on the bed. He also said he tried to perform CPR on the baby by doing chest compressions and breathing into his mouth. He said this went on for about 15 minutes after they arrived home. Bradley reported that Courtney went into the kitchen, got a garbage bag, and placed the baby in the garbage bag and went outside with the baby. He identified that the cooler was in the bed of the white truck, and he saw the baby go into the cooler. He explained that the baby went into the cooler because the cooler can be zipped up and it had the baby in it, and dispose of the cooler and not be seen. Bradley said that the same night he is with Courtney, who is now driving the truck, and they went to dispose of the poker first, and they put the baby in a GFL tote at a house north of their residence where there had been some lodging done recently. Bradley denied burning the seat covers from the truck and said Courtney burned them. He did say he cleaned inside the truck using a gray bucket and some bleach and water. He denied cleaning the floor and believes there will still be red stuff on the floor of the truck. Bradley denied placing the phone on the 2-track, but again said he found the phone on the 2-track. He did agree that he had the 550 phone on his person on Monday, November 3rd. Detective Voss confronts Bradley that if Courtney told him to do this, we want him to tell us now. He denies that he poked Rebecca. When Detective Pisker asked Bradley about the card found with Rebecca, he said he didn't know anything about it and couldn't recall what it was, but knew it was on social media. He did not see a card when he left the area. He also did not see another weapon or tools when he was at the scene or anything else. Bradley doesn't know if anyone has been to the scene when Rebecca's body was, since she was unalived, or he denied that he had been back to the scene. When Bradley was asked about Rebecca not having shoes, Bradley gives a description of where Rebecca's body was in relation to the trail and where things occurred. He denied that Courtney had asked him to position the truck so the truck lights would assist. He said the lights shining around the side of the front of the truck was enough to illuminate for Courtney to cut the baby out. When he left, the body was still on the same hill. Courtney covered Rebecca with leaves but denied branches were placed on her. At the time that the baby was on the towel next to Courtney, questioning the presence of a towel, Bradley is asked if he thinks Courtney planned this, and he said, I have a feeling he planned. Bradley did not see Courtney place the towel or the hunting poker in the truck. Using a Wexford County map, Bradley showed the route of travel he took and approximately where they were. He agreed he could take officers out and show them where things had taken place on Monday, November 3rd. While discussing if there was any red stuff on any of the clothing he or Courtney had been wearing that night. He identified that when they got home, Courtney changed into a nightgown. Previously, he had said that they'd gone out and disposed of the baby in the poker that night. Now, when asking about this, Bradley said that the baby stayed in the cooler that night on the back porch. He now reported it was Wednesday, November 5th, when the items were placed in the dumpsters, specifically because Thursday, who placed the cooler with the baby in it in the garbage tote. They were in the escape when they discarded the poker and the baby. Bradley said one of the things he believes Courtney said after she couldn't revive the baby, that B killed, unalived my baby. Bradley reported he watched Courtney. The poker was placed in the glove box of the Ford Escape, and he believes there will likely be red stuff located in the glove box. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 20:50, Detective Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Courtney. As she enters the interview room, Courtney reports she's ready to go home. When it's pointed out that she is saying it's all Bradley, when asked what she thinks Bradley has been saying, she reported that he is probably saying it's both of them. And we confirm her statement and say that we know they are both present. Courtney denies that she wanted the baby for herself. She admitted that Bradley brought the baby to the house and told her that the baby was not breathing. Courtney said she told him to call 911, but Bradley said they weren't doing that. She denied getting involved and said it was because she has a 14-year-old and can't put herself in a position like that. Courtney reported that the day the drones were flying around, the baby was in the metal shed out in the back. Courtney said she knew what Bradley was going to try to pin this on her because he had told her, B, I'll take you down with me. Courtney told us the 14-year-old can prove that she was home on the 3rd. Courtney is confronted with her to the truck with Bradley to go for a ride that he unalived her and cut the fetus out. When confronted with the cellular telephone data and location records, Courtney announces that Bradley had taken her phone so she couldn't call the police. Courtney is confronted with her version of events being difficult to believe. Eventually, Courtney said she is going to tell us what happened. Brad took her. He brought the baby back. I tried. I didn't. I couldn't. I tried. I tried to save my grandson and began to cry. Detective Voss asked how Bradley took Rebecca. Courtney said he pulled her out of the car and she got in the truck. Courtney admits she told Rebecca she was going to come with her. She places herself in the truck on the passenger side. Rebecca is in the has a poker, according to her. From the house, they drove to where Bradley ended up poking Rebecca. She claimed not to know Rebecca was going to unalive that night. Courtney places Bradley across South 21 with Rebecca. Courtney admits she knows something is going to go down because Bradley is on foot across the road waiting for them to arrive. She reported Bradley approached the vehicle by just walking up on her side, grabbed Rebecca by the arm, and got her out of the pickup to go for a ride after he told Rebecca, "Your mom's going with us." From the house, they drive to where Rebecca gets poked. Courtney said that Bradley told Rebecca to get out of the truck while Courtney stayed inside. Rebecca is taken to the rear of the truck where Bradley poked her. At first, she said she assumed that he poked Rebecca because he read stuff. When Detective Voss asked Courtney at what point did she cut the baby out of Rebecca, she answered, "I didn't, he did, and he handed him to me." Courtney also said the baby wasn't breathing and she didn't hear him cry. Courtney because she didn't have her crutches or her wheelchair. She claimed again that this was a revenge plot because she had a sexual relationship with Rich and because Rich got Bradley put in jail. She claimed Bradley wanted to hurt Rich. When confronted with the report that she poked Rebecca while driving down the road, Courtney denied it. When asked how all the red stuff got in the truck, she answered that it was from the poker, then suggested Rebecca got back in the truck. Eventually, Courtney admitted that she cut the baby out of Rebecca in an attempt to save him. Rebecca was still conscious, and Bradley was holding the poker to her throat. She told Rebecca to lay back, "Your baby is going to unalive." Courtney denied that Rebecca had been poked while in the truck. Revisiting the driveway, Detective Voss asked if Bradley held the poker to her throat to get her in the truck, and Courtney nodded her head in affirmative. While in the truck, Bradley put the knife down by his left side. During the ride, Detective Voss asked what is said to Rebecca is going to be okay. Courtney said she promised that Bradley wasn't going to hurt her. When they get to the area where this happens, Bradley pulled Rebecca out of the truck and he spun her around and poked her in the back 4 or 5 times. Bradley brings Rebecca to her side of the truck and is sitting next to the door, and Bradley ordered Rebecca to lay back. Courtney said she told Rebecca that she didn't lay back, her baby was going to unalive. Courtney looked in the truck and saw the scalpel, so she hurried up and did it, but her grandson wasn't breathing. Courtney said she started her incision along her belly, and Bradley told her to cut downward. He reported that Rebecca is still talking at this time, telling her to hurry up and asking if he is out. She said she told Rebecca he was about out and that Rebecca told her to save him. When she got the baby out, Courtney said she had dental floss from the dash that she had to put in her pocket because she knew she would have to tie off the umbilical cord. She reported tying off the umbilical cord the best that he could. Once the baby was out, she said that Bradley slit Rebecca's throat with the poker. Next, she said that Bradley used a cord from the snowplow on the truck to hook her body to the truck, and he pulled Rebecca down the bank, maybe 20 feet. Pulling her back and off the road, she said he then covered her with leaves. Courtney said the towel was in the truck already, but she didn't. Courtney talked about how she would have come to the sheriff's office if she had been able to give the baby to Rich to report what happened. Discussing this, she claims that since this happened, she hasn't been able to get away from Bradley. When reminded that on Monday she was in Mount something then, Courtney confirmed that after she was poked, Rebecca never got back in the truck. She was asked how the red stuff got in the truck, and Courtney reported it was from the umbilical cord, making red stuff fly all over. Courtney said she never poked her grandson. When asked if she thought she could have tried to save her daughter, Courtney said she couldn't. When asked how many times she talked to Bradley on the ride to her house from Rich's, she reported it was only once. She identified she had the fortune phone and that the call they had lasted 10 minutes. When Detective Pisker confronted Courtney with the 2 incisions she admitted to have made to remove the baby, he asked her if she thinks Rebecca would have survived those wounds. She said no, probably not. 1 or 2 months prior to having this happen, Bradley researched the procedure for getting the baby out. Courtney said that Bradley put the items in a dumpster, but she was present in the Ford Escape for both. Courtney has asked whose idea it was to leave items at the crime scene, and she said it was Brad's. She then identified the items were Kimberly's debit card, and a razor poker. Courtney reported these items were placed after Kimberly went on social media saying that Courtney and Bradley were responsible for the purpose of framing Kimberly. When pressed on the nurser, not Kimberly, and the card came from Kimberly's backpack. She said he used one of the plastic bags from her backpack to keep it from getting his fingerprints on it. Those items were suspected to have been placed by Bradley the day before Rebecca's body was recovered. She said he left with the escape that day for about 20 minutes. Detective Pisker asked Courtney to provide some information that isn't already known that can verify her statements that she reported. Brad said it was his in reference to Rebecca's baby. Now, when it questioned that they don't like each other, Courtney said yes, they do. Revisiting the conversation she had with Bradley a month prior about a C-section, she reported he looked it up on his phone. When asked why they were having that discussion, Courtney answered, because that's what he said he was going to happen. She said he told her he was going to cut the baby out of Rebecca right in front of Rich. Courtney said she brushed it off. When Detective Pisker commented on Courtney's story about having delivered a premature baby that was down in the NICU, she denied it and suggested it was a friend's baby that she was thinking about giving up. As she is being confronted with the obviousness that there was a plan for this to happen, Courtney said that Bradley had told her to pull straight in, but she didn't. She turned the corner in her driveway instead. Questioning why he told her to pull in straight, Courtney reveals Bradley had told her if he was going to do anything, it would be right there. When he does grab Rebecca, Courtney tries to get him to stop, but she said that he had a poker to Rebecca's throat, and he ordered everyone to get in the white truck. While in the truck, Rebecca slid on, and she said she reassured her that Bradley just wanted to talk. Courtney described that Rebecca was calm just after having a poker held to her throat to get in the truck. And that was it.
Whew.
God bless you reading that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, guys. I need to breathe a second.
Thank you so much for reading that.
To the Traumatized Reading Club, Allie. Take a breath, girl. You did a great job.
Thanks, Allie. We love you.
Love
Just,
her out here.
I just can't even.
I have no words. Absolutely zero words. Like, we knew it was bad, but this surpasses. I don't know why it surprises me is what I'm trying to, I think that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around, is why I'm even surprised.
Exactly. It's like,
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't surprise me, but it does. It's like,
but it
I think
does, yeah.
it's like, how could anybody ever in their wildest dreams do this to their child? I mean, again, I don't even want to say that because she's not a mother and by any stretch of the imagination, but it's wild. It's absolutely wild. And then to sit there, and the premeditation, guys, comes from the fact that she reached out to her sister, lied to her sister about having a baby that was in the NICU, knowing that was Rebecca was about to have a baby. That shows the premeditation right there.
Absolutely.
100%. %, it does.
Her to sit there and then say, and then try to pin it all on Brad and then make herself seem like, oh, I tried to jump in and help and save my No, bitch, please.
No.
Bitch,
No.
please. You don't get to sit
You're
here and
right
try to
for
make
that.
yourself look like anything at this point at all. And what
Oh,
makes me even
more sick is the fact that she tried to say, oh, I thought he was just joking like earlier in the week when he mentioned it. Like, what? If anybody said that about my kid, they wouldn't have made it to the next week. Let me be clear.
Facts.
It's insane.
I would have for sure been catching a charge.
Part.
Did I hear that right? Where Brad said that was his baby?
Because the police asked her to what they didn't know to verify her statements, and it was Bradley's baby.
Which is bullshit.
To get the finger off of her.
She had to blame somebody, and we all knew she was going to turn it all around on Brad. But his statement is more believable.
Jax, what did you think about the part where they make it seem like they left her there the entire time?
Oh, that's a lie. I can't. They're both trying to blame each other. They're both lying. There's missing pieces because they don't want to. That's bullshit.
So why would they have left that part out? Because the child was in the house?
Yeah. Like, why would you leave that out? Like, it's fucking wild to me.
I'm sorry, the app keeps dropping me. I don't mean to go in and out. The freaking app keeps dropping me or something.
There's no way that they left Rebecca there due to the fact of her injuries, and animals would have been going around her like that.
Exactly.
So there's absolutely no way, because when I go hunting and I have deer and we do what we do to make it lighter to get the deer away, within 20 minutes there's animals that are starting to come out because they can smell it. On top of that, if she was left there, a body doing decomposing, you'll smell it. There's no way in hell. But I think they stopped the investigation right there. But there's going to obviously be more coming up.
And I'll tell you right now, me and my cousin were out fishing the weekend before. It's right on my TikTok, and it was 65 fucking degrees out there.
Right. You would have smelled something. Or somebody
Help
around
absorbing
you.
it by leaving it outside.
I hated hearing something about Courtney saying she believes Brad over her daughter. And did we ever figure out what that was about?
Not.
I don't remember that.
It was in text messages or something with someone. She was telling that that she believes Brad over her daughter. And now she's saying Brad's,
Yeah, she's gonna blame Brad, and they're gonna blame each other. And what's wild is the fact that she is going to really sit here and she's going to say, it makes me sick. And just think about this, guys. How many boxes she's been in with us?
I think she should just save everybody a favor. And
I just think about Jax and them like at her house and how she just lied.
I was gonna say, I was in that house. Jessica was in that truck twice, searching shit, looking around.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't
disgusting.
go through shit, you know what I mean? But
first off, how do you do something so heinous? And then secondly, how do you walk around acting normal? Well, not that she ever acted normal, but you know what I mean.
Jax, did Bentley know like what y'all were there for? And he was there like present, or was he in his room?
at first he was in his room, and they said the only room I couldn't go into was his. He came out, he had a snake. I went up, talked to him. I got real close to him. Mind you, I didn't touch anything.
I 100% believe that he knew, and I 100% believe that they would not let me get close to him so that he wouldn't say anything.
Well, like what you said when you did talk to him, Brad was right up your rump.
Yeah, I couldn't get close to him to even nothing.
That poor child.
Sick bitch, man.
I said that to Jax today. I said that poor kid is going to be traumatized for the rest of his life, number one. And number two, this is what doesn't make sense about these things that we cover. And I get that they don't make sense because these people are unstable and they're mentally ill and obviously are monsters. And so that's why we can't grasp this. But in what world does it make sense to anybody, right? That your biological child is pregnant. Everybody around you knows that she's pregnant, but then you're going to unalive her and take the baby and then claim that it's yours and nobody's going to question that and then wonder where the hell she's gone. Like, I don't know. It doesn't
asinine.
make sense. Like,
It doesn't make sense.
how does this stuff not go through these people's heads?
I think that she
Because they're on
brainwashed
because
herself.
they're on drugs.
Oh, go ahead, Jax.
I was just gonna say because they're on drugs.
When
And
you were there, did it
Right.
seem like they were?
Honestly, no.
But I mean, it does damage even after the fact. I don't think we'll ever be able to understand the brain of this woman who's so sick. They should study her brain.
I feel like she's read so many documentaries and watched so many crime things that she brainwashed herself thinking that this would work because she's done so much studies.
She's disgusting.
I think she's just plain out evil.
Someone had
Yeah,
a question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but someone had a question in the comments to explain the blue and greenish, like chalky substance they said was in her stomach.
I was
Um, Go
listening
ahead.
to Sex Live,
hmm
and they were saying that they can see it being Pepto Bismol
Yes,
tablets.
some kind of antacid,
Yep,
possibly.
because
This is in our opinion.
yep, because her stomach, it was in her stomach, and her stomach was not punctured. So she had to have taken something, and they're thinking that it's either that or it could have been the charcoal, like those charcoal pills, due to the fact that she was about ready to deliver, but with the spaghetti too that she ate probably gave her such bad heartburn that you see so many people, eating the Pepto Bismol and the Tums.
Right. And this is all just
Allegedly.
speculation and alleged because we do not have the toxicology back. Is that correct, Kristen? I don't believe we'll have that back for a couple months.
It's not. They to be honest, like I said this in a post, they probably won't even release it right away. It'll be released, either as an exhibit to a motion or at trial. Most likely, they're not going to release a lot of this to the public straight out of the gate, unless it'll obviously be provided to the defense in discovery. Some things may end up getting leaked, or throughout the course of this, but I wouldn't think that they're gonna release that. To be honest, usually they don't straight away.
So this is like the most information that we're probably going to receive, pretty much, unless something gets leaked, until
Once
probably the
we get in,
trial. Or
once we get into motion practice and we get past the probable cause hearing and then preliminary hearings, obviously gonna, where they're gonna motion for discovery and things like that. Once we get past and we start getting into motion practice, they're gonna have the facts, in the motions that they file as well. So again, and if they're unstipulated facts, meaning both sides agree, then we can start piecing pieces together that way as well. You know what I mean? But
okay.
for all of the documents, we're looking at trial.
Kristen, can you also explain to them what happens at typically a probable cause hearing? I know a lot of people had questions about that.
Is that
Yeah.
tomorrow?
So okay, I'm gonna preface this with Michigan is very odd. Allie and I talked about this the other night, and it doesn't really make sense to either of us. Typically, at probable cause hearing, is where they go through. So notice Allie just read, and earlier I read that affidavit that lists the who, what, when, where, why, and how. It lists the who, what, when, where, why, and how because there are certain elements which we've gone over that have to be met in order for them to establish probable cause to move forward, to even bound it over. What Michigan does is they have an arraignment hearing, a probable cause hearing, and a preliminary hearing, which is very weird. Most states, the preliminary hearing is the probable cause. And then if it's an indictment versus an information, meaning it goes in front of a grand jury and a true bill is waive your preliminary hearing because they've determined, the grand jury has determined obviously that, there's enough to move forward, and then they issue a true bill. In this case, they're filing an information only, meaning it's not going in front of a grand jury, which means probable cause where they're going to determine that all of the elements are there in order to move forward, to take it to, to start moving forward with trial and then to go into discovery, things like that. And then in Michigan, from what I understand, the preliminary hearing is where they can actually sit down with witnesses and things like that. Again, I'm super familiar with Michigan, but I know that they have the 3 separate before it even gets bound over to the circuit court, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But again, probable cause is where they establish whether or not there's enough to even move forward to the next step.
Not doing that like in lieu of they are doing. That's what I
Which
was
this is
thinking.
what I keep screaming from the rooftops, makes zero sense to me. And I'm
Hmm.
not defending them. Let me be clear when I say this. But if you were the one sitting in the defendant seat, you would want your rights to be, I don't know. I don't agree with information versus indictment, especially when it comes to capital offenses like they're being charged. Constitutional rights violation. Obviously, if the amendments to the Constitution have allowed certain states to move forward like that, but that doesn't mean that I have to agree with it.
Which is absurd because
Back tomorrow for tomorrow's hearing.
Yeah, like I said, tomorrow is basically just going to be them reading the elements again, and then moving forward with here's what we have. They'll kind of give you here's what we know. Again, basically everything that we just read that was in that probable cause affidavit. Here's what we know that they did, and then they'll say, okay, and obviously as we can tell, 18 pages. There's more than enough to for each one of those crimes that have been committed. There's not going to be an issue with moving forward, but it's basically going to be a reading of that. They can bring in witnesses, they can argue, they can cross-examine, direct examine. There's a multitude of different things that can be done typically at a probable cause hearing, but that's basically where, again, they're just going to go over that. There's either enough or not enough to move forward. And that's ultimately what we're looking at for probable cause. Again, Michigan's very, very weird. I'm kind of interested, to be completely honest with you, to see. I've only worked one case, and it was a criminal case in Michigan. So I myself am interested to see how they do this leading up to just the normal motion practice and stuff that they do once it's bound over. Because, like I said, typically you're looking at arraignment and then probably either called one or the other, depending on what the jurisdiction is. And then you move forward to it getting bound over to the circuit court, and then you move forward with discovery and all your motion practice, motions in limine, all of the good things. So I just find it interesting that they have 3 separate hearings and conferences prior to even moving forward with discovery. That's just different to me. And yes, it could take a year. I mean, it could take longer than a year. There's criminal cases that last multiple years.
I was gonna say, I've been on that side, and it won't be nothing for them to bind that over, or bound that over, or whatever, to circuit court. So that's good.
They're moving forward no matter what. There's way more than enough evidence.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that at all.
No. And then on top of
answer
that,
to it all.
I believe that all 4 of them go to court tomorrow at 10:30. Please, somebody let me know, because I have to be there. But I mean, I'm going to be there regardless. But I think my cousin said that she said all 4 of them are going to court tomorrow at 10:30.
That's what
No,
I
all
heard.
4 of them. 3 of them go to court at 10:30, and Rich goes at 2:30.
So, but okay. So, do I should stay for riches too, right?
One more time, sorry.
I should stay for riches too, right? But is
Oh yeah,
his
I mean, yeah, I would. Hopefully,
He's
I'll have
already
the stuff. I
there.
mean, it's not relevant unless more has developed since, you know what I mean. And considering they love to see
right?
what's said, so if you
Okay.
can, yeah, please do.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want
will.
you to.
No, I
I
know. I
mean,
planned on it anyways, and by the time they get done with all of that, I'm gonna have enough time to go outside, smoke, go back in, and then Rich is gonna be up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Do you have the document where you can stream or record
yeah, I
for
have the
this one?
press pass. Hmm.
Okay. And then, True, does it seem like they kind of, in Michigan, they kind of push everything into one?
What do you mean?
Like the hearings and stuff, do they kind of, like when you were talking about normally they do it this way, this way, this way, but Michigan's different. Does it seem like they kind of push three things into one hearing?
No,
Or
it's
am I
like we have more separate hearings than I think what everybody else does.
Well, they're all
okay, so
supposed to
I
be there
just
at
pulled
10:30,
I
but
just pulled it up. So if we're in Michigan for probable cause, the state typically presents the lead detective or arresting officer, occasionally the alleged victims, again, which won't be the case here, unfortunately. Hearsay is allowed for certain foundational purposes. Physical evidence is often summarized, not fully litigated, but it's summarized, which again is what that probable cause. It's ultimately what they have. So again, this is typically what happens in every jurisdiction calls it something different. Probable cause usually happens at the preliminary hearing, and it usually goes arraignment, and then probable cause preliminary hearing is the next step. In Michigan, they do probable cause, and then they also have a preliminary hearing, which again is why I'm a little confused on why they even have. Even Allie was like, "Why the hell do they have a third step?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know."
yeah, it's a little redundant.
So
I think that.
It
not
is
that alley,
really.
guys. Not that alley. Legally. I'm when Legally and I were talking about the probable cause versus preliminary hearing the other night on Dora's panel, we were very confused on why they have three, because almost every other jurisdiction goes from arraignment into either the probable cause or preliminary hearing, whatever it's called in that jurisdiction. They don't typically have three. So
And what I would like to add to that is that this is going to be so long because if say Brad pleads guilty and Courtney doesn't, like they're going to hold Brad as to testify against Courtney, and they're going to hold him in there until she gets sentenced, and that could be God knows how long.
with this all going down and they're in jail, technically they're in jail right now, can they get moved to prison since there is so much against them?
They won't go to prison until after they get sentenced.
correct, they
Okay.
can't. Michigan also, guys, you got to remember, Michigan does recognize spousal privilege. It's narrowed and heavily carved up by statute and case law. So I believe, if I remember, I looked this up the other day, it's MCL 600. But the spousal testimonial privilege is practiced in Michigan. So any confidential marital communications, whether a spouse can be forced to testify about those private communications during marriage, again, there are certain things that can be waived and certain things that can't be waived, but that is a thing. And they could, remember, the defense attorney can come in and ultimately say, hey, they're married, they have to do this, they don't have to do that. Now again, there's certain exceptions that's going to be based off of the actual case precedent in Michigan, so I'll have to pull the actual case law on that. But again, Michigan does have spousal privilege, so we have to remember that.
Can they still take so far on the affidavit, even though they have spousal privilege? Can they still use those even if they don't testify with spousal privilege?
So in criminal prosecutions, a husband cannot be examined as a witness for or against his wife without his consent, and a wife cannot be examined for or against her husband without her consent. Again, subject to the statutory exception. So there are going to be certain exceptions that are carved out, and I'll have to go read that section again. They did amend the statute holds the privilege, meaning that the spouse on the stand can choose to testify or to refuse. The defendant spouse cannot block a willing spouse from testifying. So if one of them is willing to do so, and is not coerced or forced or whatever, then they can't say, nope, spousal privilege, right? But if both of them don't want to testify against each other, then they cannot be forced to do so.
I
That
got
wouldn't
another
be
question.
good.
But I think
Then,
that if they do get some kind of a plea, that is going to be part of their plea bargain that they have to testify.
do we know if their marriage is actually legal? Like,
They have the same last name, and it wouldn't be on the court documents if it
If it
wasn't. So
wasn't.
my assumption is
that's
yes.
true
Yeah.
because they don't have the 7-year marriage thing. You know,
Right.
I forget
Common
what it's
law.
called. Yeah,
Yeah.
common law marriage. They don't have the common law marriage up there, do they?
Nope. Nope.
So,
Because that's the
okay.
first thing I looked at. But again, that was, like I said, the court would use Fox if they were not legally
Absolutely.
married, and they're using Bartholomew. So
Yeah, because they wouldn't go back and change the spelling of her first name and do that
Bartholomew again.
I have a
and use Bartholomew if that wasn't her legal name. So yes, okay.
Correct. Yeah.
so is her and Brad legally married?
That's what we were saying. They're using Bartholomew. The courts would not use Bartholomew if they were not legally married.
But what if they got a divorce and she's still using his last name? That could be a possibility, right?
I mean, yes, that's the case. But typically, it automatically. I mean, if you look at almost any proceeding, and again, it's up to them to request this, but typically, it'll, you'll see in almost all divorce proceedings that it'll automatically. There's a checkbox that says, "Do you want to?" Do you want to automatically revert back to your maiden name? And then they either check the box yes or no. So, I mean, that would be up to her to check that.
Right.
Then
Because
again,
I only say that because my mom never changed her last name after she got divorced.
sure, but
She kept it.
remember, in that probable cause affidavit, it literally said that she wanted to divorce him. And then when she claims she got pregnant and didn't know if it was Brad's or Rich's, then she
She
stopped
stopped the
going through
court
with the
date.
divorce proceeding. So I don't think that they are.
Yeah, because they stopped it like 2 weeks before, she said, or something.
Yeah, I don't think that they are either. I just thought maybe that could be.
I don't even believe that, if I'm being honest. But
Yeah, me neither.
But I invited Allie in here too. I know she's super busy, but
Right.
she might be able to. Legally, guys.
Right. I just don't think that it's. I mean, man, I just can't even.
Because right where they stopped, they haven't talked about anything else prior to that. Like,
No, I think that today they buy Brad and Courtney when they were brought in for the questioning.
well, and that's what probable cause is that they're sitting down, they have all these recorded interviews, right? And then they're basically ultimately saying, okay, here are, I guess for lack of better terms, here's my side of the story, here's their side of the story, and then they're going to put in the evidence that they found as well. So if you actually go through that with a fine tooth comb and you review everything, you'll see where it actually says, we pulled the coordinates and the coordinates did in fact match, and you know what I mean? And they go through all that too. So they're going to add in their stuff. This is not to prove the case. This is only to show that they have enough to move forward. That's it. They don't have to prove anything at this stage whatsoever.
And they both have court appointed.
Yeah, and
public defenders.
And I was gonna say it should be pretty quick, like the arraignment was. So I mean, they're gonna go through all that. I'm kind of glad all this came out today, so I can be way more mentally prepared for tomorrow. But boy, that's gonna be a rough one, boy. Let me tell you, in that courtroom. And
Well, Kristen said too, Jax, that they could possibly during this probable cause, have people testify and different things like that.
Usually, just like I said, it's usually just the defense, or the not the defense, the
Law
detective,
enforcement,
lead detector. I mean, they're going to bring in those, and then they have a right to cross-examine. They have a right to direct, examine all of the things. And again, that's to determine whether or not they meet the elements of the crimes that they're alleged to committed. That's all that they have to do. Is there enough based off of
So basically,
and what
the
they
lead
collected from the
detectives.
home? And remember, there's more that they have behind the scenes too that has not been released, right? In terms of what they've gotten back. And that's all they have to argue. It's not, again, it's not, they don't need to prove anything. They just need to prove in light of the most favorable forward.
which is totally unacceptable.
So basically, they're like, if the detectives are on the stand, they're just cooperating with what they know and with the evidence that they made are true.
Yes, and again, they can be asked questions via direct examination. They'll be the prosecution's witnesses. So the prosecution will ask them questions, and then the defense will have the opportunity to cross-examine. So to go in and try to poke holes in their statements and claim and prove that either they were misled or what they're saying is not true. You know what I mean? Just the same, pretty much the same thing that happens at trial, just in a more
Right.
limited capacity
Because they can use hearsay in a probable cause case.
for foundational issues.
Yes.
Just to lay the appropriate foundation for introducing certain information. Yes.
Which makes that understandable.
So the court time tomorrow is 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is for Kimmy, which she will actually be in court, and then Courtney and Brad, and they will be via Zoom. And then at 2, I think, is Rich's, and he will be in court physically himself as well.
Correct. And really quick, someone asked if they found the baby. So again, there is nothing directly out yet that says, yes, we found the baby. They're going off of the fact that they said that it was wrapped in the bag and put in the cooler and it was dumped at a residence near the home that had a lot of work being done on it on trash day, picked up immediately. And so again, they would have to have gone out there and tried to find that, right? So again, there's nothing that is, to answer your question, there's nothing that they have in fact, but they are stating in the documents that the baby is no longer alive. In the probable cause affidavit, it's alleged that the
Right.
baby is no longer alive. So it is reasonable to assume that's the position that they are taking, and the baby found the BODY. That has not been stated.
And you guys have to remember that these are just their stories. This is Courtney's story. This is Brad, what we know from the autopsy, which that part is 100% legit.
Right.
And I don't think this baby was trafficked, guys. I really don't. I don't.
Absolutely not.
No.
That didn't happen. They both
Yes,
said that
Chrissy.
the baby was not breathing at the time that it was CUT out of Rebecca. That baby is not alive. It hasn't gone anywhere else. It hasn't been given. And again, if you go through that affidavit, it even says that she took the baby back to their house and tried to do CPR on the baby for about 15 minutes. And again, the prosecution is taking the position that the baby is gone, and the affidavit of probable cause says the baby is gone. So
Do you can Courtney claim like insanity or
saying no. More than competent to think about this, to premeditate it. She called her sister, told her sister that she had a baby. That was, I mean, and mental instability, maybe, yes, but I mean, insanity would have to be that they didn't know what they were doing, and they fully knew, and they're sitting here trying to play the blame game against each other. They got on social media, had more than, they might have lied, they might be, idiots. We might not be able to question. They were able to come up with this whole elaborate thing to try to cover their tracks. They're not incompetent. I don't see that happening at all.
okay, good.
Don't you think she
I would be
thought she could
surprised.
get away with it?
Oh, hell yeah, she did. 'Cause she's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually say this, but I'm sorry. I have no grace for these two. And again, as far as the rights of them, I will defend that from here to kingdom come for the purpose is I don't want this reversed on appeal, for the purpose that I want to make sure this is done right by the book to make sure that Rebecca gets the justice that she deserves. That is the only reason that I will even continue to, to do, despite the amount of information we know, which is a lot more than most cases that we report on, which is why I take the neutral position a lot. It just makes me absolutely sick to my stomach, and I have a very hard time doing that. But again, I don't want this reversed on appeal. They do have specific rights, and I definitely don't. I don't know. It's true. And if you were like I say all the time, if you were the one in the defendant seat, you would want someone like me, saying the same thing. And I will do that for every defendant. Having said that, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think we have to worry about anything. They got more than enough. They dug themselves a hole. That's on them.
Right. Right. And I feel that, it's absolutely insanity that ongoing.
Wonderful job through this all. I can't tell you what a wealth of information you have been having that legal background, and you break it down
Absolutely.
for people. And, I know there's a lot of people who are here for us.
Yeah,
So thank
Kristen is
you.
incredible with this stuff.
Thank you guys. I try. I appreciate you all.
But I do want to say I appreciate all of you guys. And of course, I am going to hop off because I do got to charge my phone and I'm going to take my grandfather somewhere tomorrow. So,
Well, it was a long night, but thank you for using your platform to let her read. And thank you, Allie, for reading.
absolutely. I appreciate all of you guys. I know Justin is live. If you guys want to go over there, I'm going to go hang out in the comments, my stuff done, and things of that nature.
Good
I
luck
love you guys.
tomorrow.
Pray for me tomorrow because I do not want to be in this courtroom with all these people.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Jax. You know we will, love.
We'll be here for you.
Love you guys.
I love you guys.
I love each and every
Bye.
single one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dora.
Bye, guys.